is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's a Friday.
I was super chill this time.
That was a little off Broadway.
Yeah, it was a little jazz
Yeah, it was still good.
but
Lower
not
East
good.
Side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not on Broadway.
Definitely.
Got it. We're going to try
Elliott.
again. September 20th, and I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay. I am Tori, and let's get right to it. Rudy Giuliani. Rudy. The president's lawyer contradicted himself on live TV last night. It all happened on CNN. Let's take a look.
And you want to cover some ridiculous charge that I urged the Ukrainian government to investigate corruption. Well, I did, and I'm proud of it.
Well, then
And
it's not a ridiculous allegation. You
It's
just
a
admitted
ridiculous
it.
allegation.
You just admitted it.
It's a ridiculous allegation.
Rudy,
of course,
you
of
just
course,
admitted
of
that you
course
did
I
it.
should.
And you better believe social media lit up after that. One person tweeted, if Rudy Giuliani's family loves him, they will get him help now, not tomorrow, now. And another tweeted, to say Rudy Giuliani is bat bleep crazy is truly insulting to bats and bleep. Sorry, but that's very funny no matter what. Here's the deal. There is a rumor, and I want to say this with like big flashing lights. I don't know this at all. It is a speculation that Rudy likes to go out for big New York City steak dinners, down a couple martinis, some scotches, and then hit up the cable news. We've seen him act a bit erratically on Cuomo before, and to a lot of people on Twitter, that's what the feeling was he might have been somewhat inebriated. Now, how did y'all feel
How
about
does this even go down? This is CNN. This isn't the backyard party from old school.
I love you, Blue.
Yeah, really. I mean, honestly, it reminds me of one of my favorite memories. Early in my career, I was opening up for a guy. He's still working, so I'm not going to say his name. But he had had some drinks before the first show, and I didn't want to see him bomb. So I went to the lobby, and I came in, and I asked the bouncer, I go, how's he doing? And he goes, he's feeling no pain.
Oh.
And that's how I feel looking at Rudy. Rudy looks like he's feeling no pain, Brandon.
Yeah. Now, is this a tactic, a strategy to be
No. Every time Giuliani goes on Cuomo, he's always on the attack. This time he was super defensive, and it's just not a good plan. He needs to come up with a better strategy to get his point across because he's looking kind of crazy, and Twitter is unforgiving.
What about strategy for removing Grey Goose? Is that a strategy?
I think he was drunk. He just was upset.
You don't think he was drunk? Brandon, do you think he was drunk?
I was waiting for him to be like, yes, I hope they died. I hope they burn in hell. Like that. I saw that sort of emotion. So, yeah, let's no drinking before seeing it.
All right, so
Water.
DBL Nation, let us know. Maybe it was a strategy to distract from anything for Trump.
Stop saying strategy.
Okay, fine.
That's like saying my strategy is to go to happy hour before I go home. That's not a strategy.
It could be a plan.
Okay.
No, even I'm saying it's not a plan.
All right. We got Lindsay on that. Well, a picture of the president has gone viral. Here it is. Look what's in the back pocket. That's a wad of $20 bills. Now, the president said he carries it to give tips at the hotel. And if he does tip, I think that's awesome because I think people should tip. But how much should a president tip, and is it weird if a president tip? If you guys don't know, in D.C., they take away the president's credit cards. He's no longer a citizen in that right, in a certain way. So it's odd to see a president with actual money.
Yeah, I don't want to talk so much about the president because who cares?
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I always find that people tip so different. Like, I know Tori, we've talked about it before. She tips at hotels, like at the end, which I respect. And I heard that women tip their hairstylists and
like 20%
now
for sure.
baristas, and then I tip my barber. But then I don't understand like who to tip, and I don't tip at the end of hotels. Maybe I should.
Well, I just think as Brandon has pointed out, I'm somewhat of a messy person.
Okay.
And I feel bad.
Somewhat.
And I feel like I worked at the ice cream store before this at Salt and Straw. Shout out Salt and Straw, it's so good. But we would turn it and flip the iPad, right? And I know it sucks to have to hit 15%, but the cone was like $3. So for that, it was a big moment, and we all combined the tip. So for me, I really feel strongly about tipping.
Why do I have to tip you for making my ice cream when that's your job?
I didn't make your ice cream. Not only did I make your ice cream, I waffled and made the waffle out of a waffle mix and flipped it. And
You're
then
doing
turned
your
it.
job, what you are contracted to do.
Are you going to tip Brandon after this segment? He's doing his job. He's doing a good job.
I think manual labor is a little bit more important.
This
than
is
sitting,
manual
You're
labor.
sitting and talking to friends.
But why do you tip your hairstylist but not your dentist?
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, the company should pay. The company should pay the ice cream people more.
Yes,
and then we'll have to worry about this because that screen turning towards you and saying, like earlier, I got shamed for giving $1 is all I had.
It's not all you had.
It is all I had. You don't know what card I was using.
all you had, Lindsay. Like,
You don't know financially what she has. She hasn't been paid yet.
They had to go. See, they had to go remake her tea. You should tip more than $1 if they got to remake your tea.
I don't like this blaming.
I'm getting shamed. I haven't even got my first paycheck yet.
Wait till she gets her
You
paycheck.
tip shamed me last year for the Uber when you're like, yo, Brandon, now I understand why you had a three-legged Uber.
Brandon's got just a 0 and then a decimal point with his Uber rating.
Oh, whoa.
Yes.
Do you guys tip all Ubers though?
No, yes.
No.
No.
Are you kidding me? They're driving your butt.
All
All right, we want to hear from the DBL Nation on this. This started out as a joke, and then the United States Air Force warned people not to raid Area 51. But check this out. Thousands of people have still traveled to a pair of very small Nevada towns. These pictures on Twitter prove it. And check this out. Someone actually did the Naruto.
There you go.
Thank you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Run on live TV. So this is this cool like anime thing that's hilarious, and I'm too old to know what it is, and I'm embarrassed.
Yesterday we just found out that aliens are real. So aren't you guys curious to know what is behind those walls?
Not enough to test the limits of a military base.
It's not like they're trying to jump over a fence. They're peacefully gathering on the outside of Area 51. You don't have a problem when people go Woodstock or Comic Con
There's
or
no
Burning
music
Man.
being played.
Someone's jamming somewhere.
I think this is sad.
Yeah,
Really?
I do think
This looks like a group of lost
I do
people that
too.
don't have anything to do.
Raid that
Do
alien
you have
booth.
time right now, Brandon, Lindsay, to go to the desert with a bunch of other people that are hyped up on Mountain Dew Code Red and just sit there and continue to disappoint your parents?
We're in the fourth quarter of 2019, almost. And so therefore, some people have extra vacation days. This is one way to use it. You can't judge
But
our
don't you think
vacation
this is
day.
like, no European would go do that. I feel like this is such an American thing to be like, nuclear reactors, let's go.
Right. It's a strange thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Like the Chernobyl thing makes me very
So
worried.
you're saying it's an American thing where we can free Britney and free E.T. in the same week, right?
It'll be a good day. It'll be a
Same
good week.
week.
Good
Wow.
week. All right, ladies, are you there?
No one's here.
Someone goes, yeah. All right, do you ever want to go topless in public? Well, now you can legally bear it all in at least 5 states, including Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, Kansas, and Oklahoma. So my first thought is, Lindsay, would you ever do this? And then to the gentleman, could you see this? Obviously, in the beginning, it's going to be weird, but would it be normalized in, let's say, 5 years?
I think I want to hear from Lindsay.
Well, I wouldn't do it. I don't know. I appreciate women, and I
What about
appreciate
like a
women.
rooftop, like you just want to get a tan, like there's no one else up there but you and your girlfriend?
Probably not. I don't
Really?
know.
That's
I
just
don't think I would either. No, I don't think I would either.
backyard? Like,
Well, I don't know. I don't really love the idea, but I do appreciate what the movement stands for. So I don't want to be on the wrong side of history on that one. But I don't really like the idea of just being at the kids' swimming pool and then just like
Letting it out.
topless. Yeah. But I don't also want to see men with their shirt off either. Maybe everybody just put on a white
at
beater.
the beach, you don't want to see men with their shirt off?
Have you
Most
seen the
times,
men at
no.
the
What do you want us to be wearing?
Some of the men
A
at the beach.
unitard?
Oh, what?
Some kind of men at the beach are not looking good, though.
No, but she didn't want to see men at the beach. I think it's weirder to see men in T-shirts at the
That's
beach.
true. That's
That's
true.
true, but-
Now, do you think it'll normalize?
Not in 5 years. I think maybe like 10 to 15 years when the older generation and my generation as well kind of like, die off a little bit because
It's a great Friday sentiment.
I see it, like you said, I love the message. I love what it stands for, but there's always that other side who's going to be like, look, if something was to happen, heaven forbid nothing happens to anyone who decides to free the nip, people are going to be like, see what? See, I told you. You asked for it. You asked for
And
it.
my response
I don't know
is-
why I'm thinking about that
But my
so much.
response is there will always be those people. Predators will always be around, but we can't let the monsters stop the normalization of freedom and equality.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a
Sounded so
problem
good.
in. Yeah, it did sound great.
Didn't it sound good?
It doesn't seem like it's a problem in Europe. I mean, they
Right?
seem very normalized with it.
They've figured it out. Now, if you saw a woman jogging or free in public, would you be like, good for you, or just let it go?
No, I'd probably just like do a
Double
double take.
take.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all. I wouldn't say
I don't know if
anything.
I would ever clap for a stranger. I think it'd be weird for me and them.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially
man,
you're
that
supposed to normalize it.
I guess that's just me. That makes it much worse. One time, a bunch of construction workers whistled at me, and instead of being like annoyed or whatever, I just bowed slowly.
They probably never forgot. They probably never whistled at
They
another
stopped.
girl.
They
It
were
was
like,
so
no,
weird.
never mind.
I'm gonna get back to work.
Yeah.
Get back to work.
All right, well, DBL's live and coming up. Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are at the top of the presidential pack. But how old is too old to be president? Dale Hansen from our sister station in Dallas gives his DBL take. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. Forget he or she. Singer Sam Smith wants to be known as they. Sam's non-binary, so should you be expected to ask people what their preferred pronoun is? Your comments coming up next.
Should wear three-piece suits to the beach. I'm just saying. Like,
No, but some men should cover up.
Well, I'm just saying, it's a lot. Well, you know what? I'm not going to shame anyone, but I'm saying when people are like, I don't want to see a overweight or plus-size girl at the beach. I'm like, I don't want to see you either.
Some men have bigger boobs than women, and it's like I want to walk up to them and be like, yo, bro, like, we got kids around here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Or we should just mind our own business.
free the nippers for you.
I mean, when you go to the beach, you do expect to see skin, though, right?
Yeah, I'm not like prude. I'm just saying, like, I don't like.
I don't think, and I'm not. I don't think I would do it either, and I'm the most like liberal feminist, and I also don't think I'd feel comfortable with it.
But I think it's also because if you went to Brazil, which I'm assuming they have. A lot of people are topless at the beach there, especially the locals.
Yeah.
I don't think an American would act as shocked because you would want to fit in.
Fit
you
in,
wouldn't be like screaming around,
You wanna
running around the sand.
assimilate,
What's going on? So like once it goes from 49 to 51%, where you look crazier acting strange rather than acting normal. I think that's when it would shift completely.
All right, well, here's a question from XOOX. What if the homeless people go naked all day, day? She said day. Also, it's not all naked, it's just topless. So that would mean if a homeless man is in a public park with his shirt off, technically a woman could also have her shirt off, I guess.
But what's next, Reed? What else next?
I think we're done with the next.
No, we're gonna keep going after that. It's gonna be like everybody just walk around.
I think we're just saying that we want fairness.
Right.
And it's not, I don't think, a partisan issue. I think it's just fair.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
hate when
how
I
many
say something
people?
that
How many
there's just
people?
a lot of
I don't know what to say about that.
I don't know how many people would actually do this.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I think it's just like the option.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the choice is there, right? Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, Merriam-Webster has just added a new definition to a well-known pronoun. Here it is. They now refers to a single person whose gender identity is non-binary. So let me just explain this a little bit more for us to understand what we're talking about. So for males, the proper pronouns include he, him, his. For females, pronouns include she, her, hers. And for people who don't identify as either male or female, pronouns are they, them, their. And speaking of which, singer Sam Smith has now asked to be referred to as they. Smith said they no longer prefer to go by male pronouns. So DBL Nation, should you be expected to ask people what their preferred pronoun is? Let's take it away.
Okay, so Barb from Facebook says, I'll call you whatever you want, but it's not my responsibility to ask for your pronouns. If people want to be treated a certain way, they need to own up to their feelings and speak up. Barb, we had this conversation in the break earlier, and I wanted to make sure I get this right. So I think it's important that I don't walk up to somebody random and say, what do you want me to call you? Because I would get offended if someone asked me, do you want me to call you he, she, or they? So I think that people should let you know how you want to be treated, and then I'll move forward the proper way.
That's very well said.
Yep. Sheila from Facebook says, if you ask someone their name, why not add this to the conversation? It will only help you get to know someone better and not offend them. It's not really an inconvenience at all unless you want it to be. Sheila, I don't think it's an inconvenience, but where we are right now, this is new to a lot of us. Like this is something that we're all going to have to learn. And I have a hard time remembering someone's name, let alone what to call them. I don't want to offend anyone, and I do other things to show you that I respect you, but please bear with me and people like me as we get adjusted to this.
I like that. All right. Denise from Facebook says, The use of they as a singular pronoun can be grammatically confusing. You know what, Denise, this makes me think about, obviously, we've seen the way that we refer to African Americans change over the years. It was Afro-Americans, then it was black people, blacks, now it's African Americans. And I wouldn't mind somebody saying, hey, do you mind if I say Al's my black friend, or would you like African American? We can have a conversation about that, and I won't be offended. So,
and I don't think people
just
are offended. Yeah,
it becomes normal after a while. Like, people will just say African Americans.
My stunningly good-looking black friend.
Is that what you want me to call you?
Yes.
All right. Well, I do want to get to John from Facebook. He says, I actually never started asking people for their pronouns, although I use the pronouns that people request. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. If you want to be called something else, please tell me, and I will absolutely try to do it. Now, here's what bothers me. If you say, I'd prefer to be called they, and you continually say she, and you do it in a way that means I'm not going to do that for you, that's disrespectful. In any other way, I think we're all learning.
Right.
We have to have some time.
And I think to help the learning curve, those people shouldn't get offended if someone is,
I don't think they would.
Genuinely asking
I agree with you. The genuineness is exactly right.
Yes.
All right, well, coming up on DBL, is it possible to be too old for the presidency? Dallas sportscaster Dale Hansen, known for his viral opinions, he weighs in next on DBL.
Are you?
Welcome back to the DBL Stream Team. I'm Leo here with
Kelly
to talk the latest trending shows on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime.
Ooh.
This week we're talking the Netflix original series, The Chef Show. Now this is Jon Favreau's show, and he goes around with Chef Ryan Choi, and this is actually based off of his movie Chef, which came out a couple years ago.
Yep.
And he quit restaurant business to become a food truck business owner. And that's pretty much what they're doing here, actually. Every single episode, he brings in different celebrities, and they cook different meals from different countries, and they tell stories to each other.
I love
It's
it.
just this awesome, kind of like Dinner for Five. It's
Yeah,
the
Dinner for
same-
Five, his
same
show,
kind of
which
style.
you might have watched in the past. I really liked it. I liked getting to hear from
Yeah.
Seth Rogen, Gwyneth Paltrow. Remember we talked about Gwyneth on the show
Yes, we
when
did.
she forgot she was in Spider-Man.
I know,
So
like
that's
who
what this
forgets
show.
they're in Spider-Man? But
I don't
that
know.
was a whole conversation on this show.
Still good though, right?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you get to cook different exotic foods. They get to cook different foods together. I really wish though that they would kind of include the viewer a little bit more. I wish there was some
Okay.
graphics coming up when they were cooking.
Like maybe to tell us how much food we need
Yeah,
to
like
put-
how much you
yeah.
need to put in
I
here.
agree with
Like
you.
they were doing one episode, they were frying chicken, and the way they were frying it was a little bit unconventional.
Yeah.
So I would have loved some step
A little
by
more
step.
guidance, if you will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that
to
makes
show
sense.
us how to actually cook that food because it looked scrumptious.
Delish.
But also on Stream Team this week, our classic choice, The Honeymooners. Lost episodes are streaming on Amazon Prime. So these are episodes that didn't originally air
I was
in the
going to ask
series.
you, so these are never been seen before, right?
They haven't been seen unless you've been on Amazon Prime. You've been doing your homework. So check that out, streaming on Amazon Prime now. And coming to Netflix this week, the Lego Batman movie. And let me
Ooh.
tell you, those Lego movies
They're
just
pretty
get
good.
better and better
They're
each
pretty good.
one. And seeing Will Arnett voice Batman was great. I mean, it's fantastic top to bottom.
Welcome back to DBL. How old is too old to take office? Well, former President Jimmy Carter is making headlines this week for what he said about putting an age limit on the presidency. Let's take a look.
You know, if I were just 80 years old, if I was 15 years younger, I don't believe I could undertake the duties that I experienced when I was president. But one thing, you have to be very flexible with your mind. You have to be able to...
Our friend Dale Hansen from our sister station in Dallas is also weighing in. Here's Dale's DBL Take.
There's a great argument in this country about how old is too old to be president, and I'm having a hard time coming up with a number. I'm 71. I know I look 68, and thank you very much. But I think I'm too old to be president. And now that all my fellow baby boomers are upset because age is just a number, let's discuss it a bit. Ben Franklin helped write the Declaration of Independence, and at the age of 70 was the oldest to sign it, and then signed the Constitution at 81. But does anyone think there's a Ben Franklin on the ballot? I don't think so either. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was 76, and as great as her paintings were, she was a painter. Ronald Reagan was our oldest president in 1980 at the age of 69, and I think he led America out of a very dark place. He made me proud to be an American again. But by the end of his second term, he wasn't the Ronald Reagan at 69 either. Maybe because I'm a child of the 60s, John Kennedy has always been my favorite president. He made mistakes like they all do. He did a lot of things he shouldn't have, like most of us do. But he did make me believe in the future of America. And isn't that what we really want? At 71, I might not have much of a future, but my kids and grandkids do. And I want a president who doesn't talk about what we used to be. I want a president who talks about what we can be. And if they will do that, and if they can do that, then I would agree that age is just a number. An important number, but just a number.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Biden, 70s, mid to late 70s, Bernie, Trump, all in their 70s. What is your number, and do you have one for how old you'd feel comfortable voting for someone in office?
I don't really have a number. I just want to have a mixture of a president that's got old school in them, but also some new school as well, because you can see where America is going. So.
You need a mix for yourself.
Absolutely.
Al, what do you think?
I don't know if it's an age, because I mean, we all have family members. You had a family member that lived to 104. Some people live to 63. And it's just like some people go off a cliff at 75. Some people are sharp as a tack at 95. So it's weird. But I think the older you get, it is strange that we don't get people kind of in the prime of their lives, like 39 to 59. You know, those where you're kind of still sharp, but you have enough experience in whatever.
And that's what Dale was saying about, I think about Kennedy. Go ahead.
Yeah, your mental faculties have to be in order. My grandmother's 103, so and she still lives alone. She's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So, you know, in Harlem, nonetheless.
Wow.
Let's just do a 103-year-old president.
She's right. She's right.
She's good, Mark.
All right.
2020.
Up next on DBL, the debut of our brand new Friday segment, Superstar of the Week. We'll be right back.
Promote.
Hey guys, welcome to our review of Ad Astra. I'm Stephanie and I'm joined by Raquel. Okay, so Raquel, we went to go and see Ad Astra the other day. What do you think?
I think we're gonna have very differing opinions on this. For being a space movie starring Brad Pitt, it has everything I would ever want in a movie.
Okay.
I liked it for the fact that it shows what space and colonization might be like of planets when other humans get involved in other countries. I loved that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But towards the end, I thought it got a little cheesy.
Okay, so I loved the kind of digital green screen special effects aspect. So I love seeing what it would be like in space. And I feel like it really transported me into that world. And I thought it was so beautiful. But for me, the actual storyline just went on a bit. There wasn't enough kick to the punch. Do you know what I mean?
I felt like it kind of got like a little bit repetitive because I'm like, okay, anytime Brad Pitt hangs out with someone, we know what's gonna happen to them.
Yeah.
But like you said, it was beautiful to look at though.
Yeah.
Everything.
The visual aspect.
Yeah, and I kind of think it's like a little bit of a sci-fi masterpiece, but the storytelling gets a little murky towards the end. They could have gone so many different directions.
Yeah.
And then they just decided to go with like the same story in space all over again, like that emotional aspect.
I'm not gonna lie, Sandra Bullock in Gravity was way better and stronger than this.
I-
Brad Pitt and Ad Astra for me.
Yeah, they are similar, especially the endings, and I will say Gravity was stronger, but this one was more beautiful to look at.
Okay, so cinema, red box, or don't bother?
If you like the idea of having all the visual effects and the sounds and all the things for that aspect, go see it in the cinema. If you just want to casually see it, definitely go Redbox. What about you?
Cinema or don't bother. All in or don't even waste your money.
Very, very strong. All right. See you next time.
what's going on, DBL Nation? I'm Brandon London. I told my mom at a young age I wanted to play professional football, and she said, show me. So I worked my tail off. I would describe myself as the host that brings energy to the panel. Are you not entertained? My perspective doesn't really come from a book. It comes from different experiences. This is that social injustice that Colin Kaepernick took a knee for. The co-host that makes me most hopeful is hands down my big sister, Erica Cobb. She just makes me better as a person. Not only on camera, but off camera. Don't show her that. DBL is raw, DBL is live, DBL is opinionated, and DBL is what you should be watching.
You are a delight.
Thank you. I love being around you all. I love your energy wears off on me, and it just makes me better, makes me elevate my game.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite memory from Brandon, I'm acting like he's not here anymore. But, you know, I mean, full disclosure, like when we were looking for new co-hosts, you know, we tried several people, and Brandon was here the first day, and outside us, our senior executive producer, Bert, and he just goes, Al, what are you, and he didn't finish out, and I was like, yeah.
Me too. As soon as you came in, and just like you, this chemistry is hard to sort of melt into, and you've just done a great job.
I think people don't understand, though, how tough it is to be a professional athlete, to leave that career and go pursue something as passionately and as awesome as you have done. So that's really hats off to you for being successful.
Your head's
I don't say nice things about
your head's getting too big now. We're done with that. All right, we do have a new segment we are debuting today. Every Friday, DBL will feature an extraordinary person who made a big impact by doing something kind for someone else. So let's get right to our first DBL Superstar of the Week. That needs music.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Yeah. The story all starts with a wrong text message. A friend was trying to reach Alex Jakeman to bring food over for his family. His 4-year-old son, Noah, recently suffered a seizure and is in the ICU. One number was off, and instead, she texted Bill Clayton. Well, when Bill learned about what happened, he asked, what can I do? Bill set up a Facebook fundraiser that has raised over $1,000 for little Noah. A GoFundMe for Noah has now reached $14,000, which they need for a van. So when Bill was asked why is he doing it, he said, I want to teach my son how to step up and do what's right. Yes. Everyone's facing an uphill battle. Be kind to each other. We'll see you Monday.
I know you're used to Kelly Schuberth, but I'm filling in for Kelly Schuberth right now because she was so moved by that last piece. She walked away crying, so now you're stuck with me. I hope you like that bio. Shout out to our amazing editing staff. Today, here's one thing I love about DBL working here at 9 News at the building. We always have like these really cool barbecues and stuff on Fridays, and today's theme is a Broncos barbecue. I'm not a Bronco fan, but I am a barbecue fan.
Shame on you.
They're 0-2.
He needs to be a Bronco fan. You got to love him forever, no matter what. How are those Giants?
Ooh, the Giants are 0-2 as well.
Yeah, there you go, baby.
0-2
Sorry,
crew.
didn't mean to interrupt.
Now I'm interrupting.
Oh, because she saw that paid advertisement, the paid Erica Cobb advertisement. No, but
It wasn't paid.
Remember, like Al was talking about, like how I first came here, guest co-hosted. You dropped me off at the hotel that one day, and we sat in the car and talked for like an hour and a half, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just like stick close to this one because I know I'm gonna learn a lot. And,
Well, we're learning from each other, but here's the deal. Like, at least he gets it and I get it because there's no like sugarcoating anything.
No.
Because that's how real relationships work.
That's how real. I could tell her something, and 2 seconds later, she'll call me out on it on national television. That's how real we are here. No, but it's such a great group, such a great cast, great people around here. It's all about working with great people in your life. So I hope you all are having a great Friday. We got DBL coming up, 12 o'clock. Kelly Shuby, DBL.
Starts right now.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Rudy Giuliani's on-air meltdown.
You are a sellout.
You are telling me that I'm a sellout.
We're talking all about his crazy contradiction on live TV. Then, topless women win big as a public ban gets dropped in 5 states. Are you okay with the decision? Plus, Demi Moore on her sex life with Ashton Kutcher. Why she says he used their threesomes as an excuse for cheating. And why is Celine Dion begging Drake not to get a tattoo of her face?
Can I tell you something? Don't do that.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. Erica Cobb, give us some, girl.
Ooh, child, it is Friday.
Taking us to church. Thank you, Erica. It is Friday, September 20th. Wait, I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al, and I am Sam. Let's get right to it. So, Rudy Giuliani, the president's lawyer, contradicted himself on live TV last night. It all happened on CNN. I was watching it live. Watch.
And you want to cover some ridiculous charge that I urged the Ukrainian government to investigate corruption. Well, I did, and I'm proud of it.
Well, then it's not a ridiculous allegation. You just admitted it.
It's a ridiculous allegation.
You just admitted it.
It's a ridiculous allegation.
Rudy,
of course,
you just admitted that you did
I should.
I was dying watching this. Okay, so you better believe social media lit up after this. One person tweeted, if Rudy Giuliani's family loves him, they will get him help now, not tomorrow, now. And another tweeted, to say Rudy Giuliani is bat bleep crazy is truly insulting to bats and bleep.
Yeah.
So, okay, so first and foremost, I've seen Rudy Giuliani on Cuomo many times before, and I've actually really appreciated their banter. You can tell that there's respect there. You can tell that there's friends. Something happened. Yeah. It was off the rails last night, and I don't want to like make it sound like I'm biased by any means, but Chris Cuomo definitely held his own. He didn't take it personal. He didn't make it into insults. And Rudy Giuliani just did not seem in his right frame of mind. He was insulting. He was repetitive. It was like he was having a meltdown on live TV. It was concerning. It was very concerning watching it.
13 years in stand-up comedy. I have talked to this guy after shows for my entire career. People sit in that showroom. They drink all the time. When they come out, they're not combative like this, but they're louder. They're drunk. They're touched. Dude, we got to go out.
And repetitive, right?
Yes, and repeat. Oh, my goodness.
That's the biggest sign to me, the repetition.
And it's just like, this is my opinion. I have to say that to not, get DBL in trouble. It looked like he had a couple pops.
You're not the only one that feels that way.
That's what it looked like. His eyes were drooping.
Yes.
His speech was a little impaired. It just
and the
like
repetition. This went on for 30 minutes. And I'm saying to you, like, the same back and forth questions that really were unended, made no sense for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it's like an argument at a sports bar.
It was.
There was no Fredo reference though, right?
No.
Okay, I was wondering if it ended like that.
Oh, that'd have been great.
That would have been something else.
All right. So a picture of the president has now gone viral. Here it is. Do you see what's in his back pocket? That's a wad of $20 bills. The president said he carries it to give tips at the hotel. So then, of course, social media has a field day, Jeff. What is the appropriate amount of tipping? Who do you tip?
I want to hear this.
How much do you tip? And I love, I know you don't like when people, like at the coffee shop, turn this back to you.
Oh,
and you
I hate it.
So what do you think about this? And what do you think the appropriate amount of tipping should be? Especially coming from the president.
I like that the president's giving out 20s.
Me too.
You know what I mean? It's not too cocky. Maybe a 50 here would be nice.
Aren't you surprised that people could get that close? Does he give it to a Secret Service member to give?
Good point.
Could you walk up on the president and be like,
how cool would that be if you're just like, hey, buddy, give that to the guy over there.
Yeah.
Chop, chop. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's
like
pretty cool.
casino?
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Just put it in his front pocket right there.
So you're impressed?
I'm impressed.
Yep.
I like that. Listen, if Obama did this, we'd be like, oh, Obama's the man. So give Trump a little props.
I don't think anybody has a problem with the tipping. It's just like, who do you tip?
Chime in, Erica. What do you think about this?
I don't know what to say. I think maybe hell is frozen over, pigs are flying.
Why?
We give Donald Trump a point for this.
You scared me, Erica. I was like, what's coming?
I have to give Donald Trump a point. Yes. I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who tip.
Yes.
Especially when people aren't expecting it. Like things like tip the people who are cleaning your rooms at the hotel.
Seriously.
There are so many people going out of their way to make sure that your experience is an enjoyable one, and they just deserve a little bit of recognition. Have a couple dollars in your pocket.
Anyone in the
It's
service
just
industry.
nice to think of someone.
I have a couple
we've all
questions.
worked in the service industry, so I think maybe that's why we all appreciate it.
Do you tip a delivery man?
Yeah, it's already.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's so luckily today, because everything's all in the computer, you can already have your automated tip. So I do flat $10. So anytime that I have delivery, flat $10.
Okay,
but it's
that's
already
great.
in your phone. I never have to carry cash on me and then actually give it to that person.
I like that.
$10?
Not for Postmates, but I do Amazon Fresh quite a bit. That's a lot of groceries. They are hauling.
because you get like juices here. I'm like,
Juices, I do $3 if it's pretty close. If it's far, like downtown, I'll do a $5. But Amazon Fresh, I mean, they're hauling in big old groceries with soft drinks and diapers, and so I do a flat.
Biggest question: do you pick up on a tip? Do you tip on a pickup order?
That's what I was going to say. That's a better question.
I do, because they're still packing it. They're still cooking it.
No.
I tip on pickup. If it's a nice restaurant, then I'll tip like 10 to 15%.
Or dollars?
Percent.
Okay.
If it's like a fast food type thing, I'll tip like $5, something like that.
Dude, I remember a time, it's closed down now, I wonder why, but this pizza place by my house, it's a really nice pizza place, like the whatever, the pizza you put in a fire. It's fancy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the guy, I literally come in, I'm like, hey, pick up for Jeff, and he goes, he was just getting on his shift, and he goes, oh, here. And he goes like this, and he's like, here, could you sign this, like with a tip? And I was like, if you think you're getting a tip, you're out of your mind. I'd rather go and give the chef some money instead of some guy who's still putting on his apron and he kind of looked at me dirty. I'm like, I wanted to be like, are you out of your mind? I'm going to throw this hot cheese right on your face.
Don't do that. You got good pizza.
I took it overboard. I took it overboard.
Fancy wood fried oven pizza.
Chime in. Well, it all started out as a joke. Then the United States Air Force warned people not to raid Area 51. But check this out. Thousands of people have still traveled to a pair of small Nevada towns. These pictures on Twitter prove it. And check this out. Someone actually did the Naruto Run on live TV.
Yeah.
What is happening? Everybody wants a viral moment. Everybody wants to post their own moment where they get likes. I mean, I feel like people act for social media and only for social media.
Well, I did like the resolution from the guys who actually organized the Facebook event, because they did an event in Vegas. And there was like a music, it was for people who are really into this type of thing. And I think that was a really good way to resolve it.
And like-minded individuals to come together.
Right.
Agree.
But I still am anti the Facebook campaign, because I do think that some people cannot discern the difference.
Totally agree. Yeah, agreed. All right, well, ladies out there, are you listening? Do you ever want to go topless in public? Well, now you can legally bear it all in at least 5 states, including Utah, right here in Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, Kansas, and Oklahoma. So what do you think about this, Erica?
I would just like to say, Catherine Pierce. When I first moved to Denver back in 2009, around 2010, Catherine was in Boulder resident, almost got evicted because she was gardening topless. I remember watching the story on 9 News, and I thought, I am going to stay in Colorado because these are my people. Not that I want to go topless, it's just I love the idea of people who just refuse to conform. So Catherine and her husband put pieces of tape over their mouths to indicate that their rights were being stifled. Catherine, you are the real MVP. I hope that 9 News does a follow-up with you, because you were at the forefront of this movement.
Wow.
Go, girl.
Yes, honey. What do the men think?
This is a terrible idea.
So what do you think about this?
We are not ready for this. Have you read social media? Have you been outside? Have you interacted with a human lately? No, we are not ready for this.
So like if a woman's jogging down the street,
that's terrible.
No top on. What do you think? What, a lot of heckling?
Heckling. Well, number one, you're probably going to get in an accident. You know what I mean?
Like it would be a lot.
It'd be too much. I don't think we're. All jokes aside, America's not ready for this.
I don't think we are. But I look at like how human beings just naturally react. If any American went on vacation in Brazil and they saw topless people, because everybody was chill, or Europe, they would act the same.
They would assimilate.
So I think if we did try this in this country, it would be a problem, but it would be more normalized. Now, like you see billboards for marijuana being advertised.
Yeah, I think
and you don't think twice, because it's been slowly indoctrinated into you. So it would take 5-10 years, but maybe it might happen.
See,
I see what you're saying. It would be bad to start.
Yes. But I like the choice of it. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I like your, what's her name?
Catherine.
Like
Catherine Pierce, yes.
Get it, Catherine Pierce. DBL's Live coming up. Why is Celine Dion begging Drake not to get her face tattooed on his body? Plus, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are at the top of the presidential pack. But how old is too old to be president? Dale Hansen from our sister station in Dallas gives his DBL take. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Forget he or she. Singer Sam Smith wants to be known as they. Sam is non-binary. So should you be expected to ask people what their preferred pronoun is? Your comments next.
Hi, DBL Nation. Happy Friday. We did it. We made it. Hi, guys. Kelly Schubert here, the DBL digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news for you right now. But let's go to the table and see what our hosts are chatting about. Come on.
Oh, Erica, we're getting a picture of Catherine Pierce. Who are you?
So you'll have that the next time. Hey, guys. What's happening up here? Happy Friday.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Yeah, just be like, remember this face.
I don't have any comments.
I can say
somebody
that.
else can read them. Sorry.
I'll talk. Our own Smurfy was talking to me about tipping.
What?
And I have a friend of mine who, this would be good advice for people going out on a Friday night, but he said if you're in a packed bar on a Friday night and the bartender's really busy, he usually tips something really heavy, like a $20 bill, and just kind of like associate it, like, here you go. And just like every time you see this guy, so it does kind of, it speeds your night up, because if it takes 10 minutes off every time you go to the bar and you get 3 rounds, that's 30 minutes of your night back.
I went to a wedding, like this last wedding a couple months ago, and all I had was 20s. So I go to the bar and I'm just like, hey man, I'm just gonna hook you up, I'm just gonna come back and get beers. He's like, I got it. So I gave him a 20 and I went back and he was gone. Oh. So I went to the girl, I'm like, can I get 3 beers? And I was like, I had to give another 20, and I'm like, what? I felt so bad.
You didn't want to leave her.
Yeah, I'm like, so much for open bar. I just paid for.
I'm an over tipper, and I tip sometimes 20% when I get takeout too.
Hot dog and a hamburger.
That's not bad on 20%. You know, cheeseburger? $5 on 25, and they're delivering it? That's normal.
No, not delivery, takeout. You said you don't tip at all when you.
Oh, when I go pick something up? No.
They're packing it, and what if I have like special requests, like I don't want this on it or I don't want that on it?
But you're tipping them for their service of bringing it to you. When they make it for you, there's no tip involved.
I feel like there should be though.
No, there shouldn't be. They should pay their employees. Why is it up to me to pay their wage?
No, I don't disagree
well, in
with
Europe,
you on
they
that.
don't tip.
Right, but I think it's more.
Yeah, but they pay their employees way more.
Yeah, which is how it should be here. That's how it should be, and then we wouldn't have to worry about it. What do you think, DBL Nation? Let us know. Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, Merriam-Webster has added a new definition to a well-known pronoun. Here it is. They now refers to a single person whose gender identity is non-binary. And this might help explain it a bit more. So for males, proper pronouns include he, him, his. Females' proper pronouns include she, her, and hers. And for people who don't identify as either male or female, pronouns are they, them, their. And speaking of which, singer Sam Smith has now asked to be referred to as they. Smith said they no longer prefer to go by male pronouns. So DBL Nation, we got to hear from you. Should you be expected to ask people what their preferred pronoun is? Please chime in. Erica, take it away.
Joe from Facebook says dictionaries are considered to be constitutional and help provide us with the right language for human beings. Let's be mindful and make the first step in respectfully meeting other humans. Joe, thank you for chiming in. I just wanted to read an excerpt from my little sister Ebony's article called Why I Don't Correct Pronouns. I am a queer black woman who can and has passed as a male. Growing up, it would bother me when people would refer to me as a boy, or when kids would be kids and pick on me for my appearance. But as I got older and more comfortable with myself, my only goal was to be happy. This did not stop people from yelling at me, jumping over the door, or kicking in the stall door in the women's restrooms. My sister recently told us that she wants to be referred to as they, and that was something that I thought was super brave of her to come forward and say that, because I know how hard things have been for her. So when people feel like they don't need to respect someone based on how they want to be identified and how they want to be spoken to,
I feel like it's more a projection of your self-hatred because no one should have to live like that.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Erica.
That was amazing.
And thank you to Ebony for allowing you to share that with us. That's personal. Thank you.
Ray from Facebook says, I don't ask what people's astrological sign is. I doubt I'll ask what their preferred pronoun is. I can't even remember people's names. I'll start with that. Here's my thing. I get what you're saying. It's difficult. Any change is difficult, but we have to adjust to society. Here's my thing. I'm being respectful if I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir. If I get it wrong and you want me to call you they, please respect that I'm coming from a place of respect. And if you try to throw that back in my face, that's where I'm going to get mad. If you're like, I'm a they, you better get it right, blah, 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 then I have a problem with that. We're all learning. If I make a mistake, please correct me in the right way, respectfully, and I think it'll go a long way for everybody else.
Right, and you know, I have a comment to read, but I'll just say to your point, Jeff, I have a nephew that's trans, and you know, he and I had a conversation because he was upset with certain family members that were still calling him by his former name, and I talked to him, and I was like, we all love you. And we are all in this transition with you. So the word transition means that things are evolving.
Yeah.
So like give, especially your older family members, a second.
Yes.
Give them a second to breathe. And now it's so common and it's not a discussion anymore.
Right, but it's not being disrespectful
right, it just
at all.
takes a second.
Right,
yeah.
right.
I just hope everyone is as considerate and inclusive as this panel.
I think you'd be surprised, but a lot of people are.
Okay.
Right.
There's a lot of good in this world.
I really do hope so. Coming up on DBL, Demi Moore holds nothing back in her new book, especially when it comes to Ashton Kutcher. Uh-oh. Did he use threesomes to excuse cheating? And is it possible to be too old for the presidency? Dallas sportscaster Dale Hansen, known for his viral opinions, weighs in next on DBL.
I wouldn't go extra small. I got
okay.
a medium.
Okay.
It did start to stretch a little bit. Okay. I was the first one to wear it.
This is some behind the scenes stuff.
Okay. All right, I'll try small then and see what happens.
Dude, you know what's funny that you said that? This is like an older jacket that I have, and I put it on, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Fat guy in a little coat.
Dude, you're not.
I know, but I feel like it's like ripping.
What do you say you fluctuate between like 203 and 195?
Yeah, I want to get, my goal is to get under 190, like 189, I just want to hit that scale.
Okay.
So I got down to 191, but now I'm like 202. You know what I mean?
I haven't
like,
cracked 200 in probably 20 years. I haven't been under. I'm probably the smallest I've been. I'm probably 210 right now. And I think this is, I'd like to,
dude, it's hard
to lose that last 10.
And then
to really start working out.
Yeah, you have to like cut your lifestyle because like I just had my brother in town, and before that I was in Chicago. Now Jordan's mom's in town, and that's a lot of barbecuing. That's a lot of going out
Jeff,
to eat.
what you're describing is fun.
It's fun, but I mean, your body pays the price for it.
I'm enjoying my life so much, I can't lose.
Yeah, like tonight we're gonna have some wine. I'm gonna barbecue. My, Jordan's her legs put up, so she'll be enjoying her medicine, not wine.
Yes, I think a lot of people take the medicine over the wine. Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough because at the end of my life, I wouldn't be like, I'm glad I skipped out with wine with my wife and my mom.
Welcome back to DBL. How old is too old to take office? Former President Jimmy Carter is making headlines this week for what he said about putting an age limit on presidency. Watch.
You know, if I were just 80 years old, if I was 15 years younger, I don't believe I could undertake the duties that I experienced when I was president. But one thing, you have to be very flexible with your mind.
Dale Hansen from our sister station in Dallas is also weighing in on this topic. Here is Dale's DBL Take.
There's a great argument in this country about how old is too old to be president, and I'm having a hard time coming up with a number. I'm 71. I know I look 68, and thank you very much, but I think I'm too old to be president. And now that all my fellow baby boomers are upset because age is just a number, let's discuss it a bit. Ben Franklin helped write the Declaration of Independence, and at the age of 70 was the oldest to sign it, and then signed the Constitution at 81. But does anyone think there's a Ben Franklin on the ballot? I don't think so either. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was 76, and as great as her paintings were, she was a painter. Ronald Reagan was our oldest president in 1980 at the age of 69, and I think he led America out of a very dark place. He made me proud to be an American again. But by the end of his second term, he wasn't the Ronald Reagan at 69 either. Maybe because I'm a child of the 60s, John Kennedy has always been my favorite president. He made mistakes like they all do. He did a lot of things he shouldn't have, like most of us do. But he did make me believe in the future of America. And isn't that what we really want? At 71, I might not have much of a future, but my kids and grandkids do. And I want a president who doesn't talk about what we used to be. I want a president who talks about what we can be. And if they will do that, and if they can do that, then I would agree that age is just a number. An important number, but just a number.
I agree with Dale.
Right. It's just, you know, I look at myself as a 42-year-old guy, but I traveled for most of my 30s as a comedian. I was on the road 40 weeks a year, and I feel like I'm worn out. Honestly, now I have a flight in a couple hours and I'm already dreading it. I couldn't imagine putting 30 years on the way I feel now and not going to do comedy shows, but showing up where people are yelling at you, showing up where you need to project, showing up where you're sleeping in bad hotels, you're eating food, you're eating while you're moving. It's a lot to put on a 70-year-old. It's just human beings that has nothing to do with your intellect.
Do you think the president's staying at Motel 6?
I would agree with you, Al, but I think the problem is it's a very slippery slope because I think of 70, and my dad's turning 70 this year, and my dad is in great shape and will live for many more decades, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. The issue is if you start to talk about numbers, you're starting to talk about ageism.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with Dale on the point that if you don't have the ability to live in the present and the future, then that's where the problem comes in. But I don't think that's a number. I think that's a mindset.
Totally agree. Look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah,
Look
but
at her.
That's an anomaly,
it
though.
Doesn't matter.
Once somebody's elected, now they're in there for 4 years, and people have gone down hills. This is just human beings, Sam. This is how we.
I don't know. I think age can also bring a lot of experience.
Do you want to base the country's future on can? Possibly.
I think you got to weigh all of it in, but I do think that age is just a number. There's healthy 70-year-olds and there's unhealthy 40-year-olds.
Yes, you can be a healthy 70-year-old and an unhealthy 73-year-old.
We got to go. Coming up on DBL, Drake wants to get Celine Dion's face tattooed on his body, but she wants no part of it. And will Game of Thrones sweep the Emmys? Our Stephanie Jones has a preview of TV's biggest night.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome to the Digital Break. I'm Jeray Banks, or Jeray for the Slay, and I do Beauty Blast. Today, I want to kind of bring to your guys' attention another amazing highlighter came out, and it's from Rihanna's beauty line, Fenty. Now, this is supposed to be replicating a diamond look finish, or diamond-like finish for a very soft luster on the skin. But my question to you guys is, do we have enough highlighters already? I feel like I keep seeing the same products kind of being recycled in the beauty world now, and it's kind of sad because it's almost like, is there no creativity left? Do we not have anything left to give to the world cosmetic industry? We're kind of just circling out the same thing almost every time. So we would love your guys' feedback on that. Is the beauty industry getting a little too repetitive, or are you sick of seeing these new launches almost every month now? Because I know as a professional, I kind of am. I'm like kind of okay with working with what I have now. Just improve what we already have, and maybe we wouldn't be buying brand new products all the time, right, guys? Now, something that a few of you guys have been noticing on the new panels that we have now, a lot of our gals are actually wearing a little bit more of a highlighter too on their skin. You're seeing a little bit more luster and glow. We, of course, had a little bit of a lighting change for season 3. So with that being said, we also affected our makeup with those changes as well. So you're seeing a little bit more glow on the cheeks now. You're seeing a little bit more color evolved altogether. And that is just because of the saturation that we need. Yes, Miss Erica Cobb, we see you, Queen. That's because of the saturation that we're now receiving from our new lighting system. So we're taking all this beautiful color on all this gorgeous skin, like on Miss Erica Cobbs. You can see this. Oh, Lena did a great job on your makeup today. I didn't do Erica's makeup today. Our beautiful artist Lena did, and she really focused on this beautiful color tone. Erica has a beautiful deep skin tone, so with that being said, we can play a lot with color with her. Almost every day, I think we do play with color on her eyes quite a bit and keep her lips very neutral, so that way we have a nice even balance going on, especially with this beautiful slate. Was this slate? Like a slate denim, I would say. Who is this? This is fabulous.
Bagley Mishka.
Bagley Mishka. I think that's Lena's auntie.
But it's also, it truly is, but it's also from this designer called Rent the Runway.
Oh, the Rent the Runway.
As in, I don't own this.
No, that's the best part, though, I think, for you ladies, and for everyone. This is not an ad, by the way, but for going on our 3rd season, we've used Rent the Runway consistently, and I think it's really great for the everyday women. Like, we have an event that we're doing in a couple weeks, Red Wagon, and for that, I know a lot of the gals, even in the studio, are looking to rent the runway because they don't want to spend $400 on an evening gown that they're going to wear once.
Try like 30.
Oh, it's only $30
sometimes.
To rent. Okay, sis. We're going to go ahead and look for that coupon. Okay, honey. So make sure you guys check out the Rent the Runway and write me at Jure for the Slay on Daily Blast Live right underneath and tell me, are you sick of all these cosmetic lines with all their crazy launches, or do you want to see more? You let me know.
My name is Erica Cobb. My hair is 100% authentically me, and so are my opinions. I am from Chicago, Illinois, and that's where my career started. My role on the panel is the voice of reason. If sometimes you want to be questionably unreasonable.
It's part of growing up.
Get him, girl.
And this is part of it.
Growing up, Al, is part of growing up. It's super disrespectful.
Revealing my natural hair on live TV was one of the most liberating things I've ever done. Let me tell you, I would have been in the salon a long time ago if I knew it got a standing ovation. And as a result, I know that that's affected a lot of other women who want to be their most authentic self, and I carry that with me every day. DBL is unapologetic. DBL is organic. DBL is fearless. DBL is you.
You're so unapologetically you. In such a beautiful way. In such a beautiful,
you really are.
Unfiltered way, Erica.
I grew up like having to switch codes a lot, and it's nice just to be myself and not feel bad about that. So I'm grateful to be here.
We're grateful
to have you. Amen. Here's what's coming up next.
Why does Celine Dion want Drake to think twice before tattooing her face on his body? Then, Demi Moore's bedroom bombshells. Did Ashton Kutcher use group sex as an excuse for cheating? And will Game of Thrones sweep up at the Emmys? We've got a preview of television's biggest night when DBL comes back.
Welcome to our review of Ad Astra. I'm Stephanie and I'm joined by Raquel. Okay, so Raquel, we went to go and see Ad Astra the other day. What do you think?
I think we're gonna have very differing opinions on this. For being a space movie starring Brad Pitt, it has everything I would ever want in a movie.
Okay.
I liked it for the fact that it shows what space and colonization might be like of planets when other humans get involved in other countries. I loved that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But towards the end, I thought it got a little cheesy.
Okay. So I loved the kind of digital green screen special effects aspect. So I love seeing what it would be like in space. And I feel like it really transported me into that world. And I thought it was so beautiful. But for me, the actual storyline just went on a bit. There wasn't enough kick to the punch. Do you know what I mean?
I felt like it kind of got like a little bit repetitive because I'm like, okay, anytime Brad Pitt hangs out with someone, we know what's gonna happen to them.
Yeah.
But like you said, it was beautiful to look at though.
Yeah.
Everything.
The visual aspect.
Yeah, and I kind of think it's like a little bit of a sci-fi masterpiece but the storytelling gets a little murky towards the end. They could have gone so many different directions.
Yeah.
And then they just decided to go with like the same story in space all over again, like that emotional aspect.
I'm not gonna lie, Sandra Bullock in Gravity was way better and stronger than this. Brad Pitt and Ad Astra for me.
Yeah, they are similar, especially the endings, and I will say Gravity was stronger, but this one was more beautiful to look at.
Okay, so cinema, red box, or don't bother?
If you like the idea of having all the visual effects and the sounds and all the things for that aspect, go see it in the cinema. If you just want to casually see it, definitely go Redbox. What do I say?
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Rapper Drake has a thing for tattooing famous faces on his body. Now he wants to add Celine Dion. Yep, and she's begging him not to. Watch.
Please, Drake, I love you very much. Don't do that. You can write me love letters. You can send me autographs for my kids. You can come and visit. I mean, this is not the money maker over here, first of all. But the thing that I want to say to you is that as you go older, you too, when time comes, my face will go longer and it will go not prettier.
Let me tell you what other celebrities is on Drake's body. So he's got tattoos of Denzel, Aaliyah, Sade, the Beatles, and Rihanna eating an ice cream cone. If you guys could pick any celebrity to tattoo on you, who would it be?
I was thinking, I don't know if it'd be a celebrity, it'd be the Cavs championship. Like our championship trophy, that would be it.
The whole team.
Oh, that would take a while.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you're going to have like the last supper on your
just
back.
the trophy. Just says Cavs 2016.
Let someone's face.
All right, LeBron.
Okay, all right. What about you?
Dude, I'd get Gary Busey on my head.
No,
on my
you
back.
wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we're playing
Over the
around.
Biebs?
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good one.
Gary Busey's.
Over
Or maybe,
Bieber?
you know what's even better? Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
I get
that's
Christopher
actually
Walken.
a really cool tattoo.
Yeah.
If you got that, I think that's awesome. Erica, if anybody, you just got to play girl. Picture we're around a campfire.
If I'm going to put a face,
yes,
it better be Jesus, honey, because clearly
he's a celebrity.
I need it.
Everybody knows him.
He is.
Yes.
He is, yeah.
What about you, Sammy?
I'm trying to think. Man, I mean, you know how much I love Bill Murray.
I was going to say, I thought somebody from like Weezer or something.
Weezer?
You know what's
you like grunge? Kurt Cobain?
Kurt Cobain, I would in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Amen. Good one.
What about the Mexican guy who's vegan? I can't think of his name right now. He owns all the taco shops in L.A.
Danny Trejo.
How about
Danny Trejo
tattoo?
would be a sick one, too.
That'd be really
sick.
cool.
Danny Trejo, you know, a cool collage would be like a Danny Trejo with like a Kurt Cobain. I love Moby, but it wouldn't be Moby. I love him, but it wouldn't be him. All right, well, juicy new details from Demi Moore's memoir. She says she felt pressured into 2 threesomes during her marriage to Ashton Kutcher. And when she found out Ashton cheated on her, he used those threesomes against her. So she also, first of all, the book comes out on Tuesday, and she also goes on to say, Erica, that she dated Ashton, married Ashton, because she wanted to relive her 20s in a sense. And she thought by her engaging in these threesomes, even though she wasn't really, I guess she's a willing participant because it was consensual, but in her mind, she did it to please him and because she wanted to appear more fun. But then that bites you in the end. It certainly does.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about the fact that she's been so transparent with these details. Apparently, Ashton Kutcher knew that this was coming out. I don't know what his reaction was, but I think she's probably being so forthcoming because Demi Moore was seen as the cougar, really. You know, like she was the example. And what she's doing is peeling back the curtain and saying it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. And I think that she feels a responsibility to say that because it looked like it was so perfect for so long.
Yeah, they also had a miscarriage together, and that's something that she said, you know, really affected their relationship. Some people are saying this is too many details. She's airing too much dirty laundry. It's not fair to her past relationship.
Yeah, here's my thing. Is Ashton on board with this? You know, like, is he okay like that this is in the book and his name's getting, you know, that's my only problem. If he's fine with it, then I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? But if she's just trying to sell a book and saying all these details, I mean, having a miscarriage with him, if he doesn't want that to get out, that's damaging to him too. That's personal, you know? So if he's okay with it, I'm okay with it, you know?
I think it's different for them because they're both celebrities, so they both, I think when you're a celebrity, you have to expect books to be written about you, whether you kind of license them or not. I'm sure Barry Bonds didn't like a lot of the books that were written about him, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And Erica, to your point, I think that that's, I think we all have either been themselves, like in my situation, or like have friends, they date somebody way younger, 10, 15, 20 years. When you start getting the 15, 20 year, I know it looks great. You're like, I'm dating a 20-year-old. But the reality of that is usually not that great because you guys are in different times of your life. When you're 41, not for everybody, but you're probably not in your threesome time like you were in your 20s. And that's stuff that doesn't get seen. You just see somebody with arm candy, but you don't realize after they go home, it's not as great as, it's not what it's cracked up to be.
It's honest. Yes, it is. Chime in, DBL Nation. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West just got a lecture from law enforcement in Wyoming. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment. Raquel.
I do, Sam. Kim and Kanye now call Wyoming home, but they have some lessons to learn about wildlife. Over the weekend, Kim posted video of an ATV ride with Kanye. It appears he starts chasing antelope. Kim yells, "I think you're scaring them," and there are exact laws against doing that. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department paid a visit to the couple and told them it's considered animal harassment. It was more of an explanation of the rules when it comes to wildlife, and they weren't fined. But sources tell TMZ Kim and Kanye were cruising when the pronghorns ran by, and they say they weren't intentionally disturbing them.
I think this is a non-story.
Yeah, right?
Aren't they scared? They should be scared, right? You got to stay on your feet. People trying to eat you?
Yeah, but if you don't know that rule, I mean, they told them don't do it, and they didn't do it, right? I know you're going to be mad.
No, believe me,
Did that look like harassment to you? Like, no joke?
I don't think, you never know what's in someone's heart. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and believe that they didn't know, but there is a part right where you saw where the animals turn, where it did look like they were directly behind them at one point. And that's the only part of the video that to me felt like, all right, guys, back off. You're directly behind these animals and you're turning with them. But other than that, it looked okay. But if they were turning towards the animals to follow them, that's where I have a problem.
Do you have a problem with safaris?
No, just as long as you keep your distance. I've never been on one. I would love to go on one day. If you're directly behind a herd, I think that can be a bit much, but I think people are looking into this.
Okay.
All right.
Including us on our TV show.
Yep, well, it's the Kardashians. We gotta cover it. TV's biggest night is almost here. Stephanie Jones is our Hollywood insider, of course. So, Steph, what can we expect? Tell us.
Well, it's the 71st Primetime Emmys, and they are this Sunday. Big-name celebs are set to present this year, but there's no official show host. Plus, everyone's wondering if Game of Thrones will win big. I mean, fans hated the series finale, myself included, but the show broke Emmy history with 32 nominations for just one season. And here's an inside scoop. So, actress Gwendolyn Christie, that was Brienne of Tarth, submitted herself for an Emmy, not HBO, and she's been nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama, so good luck to her. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus could become the most stacked actress with overall Emmy wins. She's nominated yet again for her role in Veep, and she's won this the past 6 times, so we pretty much think that she'll be walking away with a statue this time too. Back to you guys.
Who do you think is the front runner?
I want Gwendolyn Christie to win her award, and I'll tell you why. Because HBO put Jon Snow forward, Daenerys, basically all the headlining cast.
But her.
And she believed in herself, and it was a very minimal entry fee, like a few $100s. And she asked, and they said no. So she fronted it herself. She paid for it herself. So I hope everyone gets behind her because she was awesome.
No,
she
Steph, no. This is like throwing a surprise party for yourself.
No, I'm with Steph here. No.
I tell you what,
I'm with Steph.
Al, you telling me that if we had the chance to nominate ourselves for DBL for an Emmy, you wouldn't do it?
If no one nominated me, I'd be like, let me step up next season. What's that face,
come
Erica?
on.
I'm not submitting myself.
I'm with Stephanie on this one. I think they dropped the ball by not submitting her, and she was like, man, I think I deserve it.
They didn't make a mistake. They knew what they were doing.
It's political. They didn't know what they were doing because guess what? She's in the final few for the award.
Good for her.
I'm going to take Al's side in this one.
Thank you,
we
Jeff.
all didn't get nominated, and then I paid and went behind your back and just nominated myself, and I got to go to the awards.
That's different. No, that's different because you are only putting yourself first in front of the group. If the group had already been nominated and you're the one left behind, then I would say, good for you for going after it. But if you were to like not involve the group,
But why doesn't
then
the group
I think
pass the hat, put some money in there, and get my nomination
all of
so
them
I can
nominated.
go?
Okay.
That's your responsibility. You're already in a political system. They are being political. They decided who they were going to nominate based on the algorithm of how it would work. Some of the people got through and got a nomination. Some of the people didn't. Now those people who got through and got the nomination, they're trying to get as many awards as they possibly can. So they left her off in order to secure their bag, not thinking about her. That's a political move.
This is good. I know, Steph. And
I don't talk a lot.
Stephanie, we want you to stick around because I think this next story you're going to have a lot to say on. It's been 25 years since the first episode of Friends, which aired September 22nd, 1994. And Google is having fun with it by hiding Easter eggs from the characters when you search each of them. So, Stephanie, let's start with you because I know you absolutely love Friends.
Oh yeah, it brought so much to the world, didn't it? Like the Rachel haircut, which suits basically 80% of the population cannot rock that hairstyle, bar Rachel herself. So what did it contribute? Nothing other than disappointment and bad haircuts for like 10 years.
I had that haircut in high school. I got the Rachel in high school.
I got a round of applause.
I know. Well, you know what? Stephanie's passionate. And it takes a lot for someone to go against Friends because most people loved Friends. I loved Friends.
It's mind-numbing. It's literally the same story over and over again. You don't have to it doesn't matter if you miss an episode because guess what? Nothing happens.
I love Steph's passion.
How many times
you can make the same argument about Law and Order, though. It's the same case.
Yeah, but I think people...
The witness cracks on the stand at 58 every time. I did it, not do it again.
There's a reason for that. I think viewers crave a sense of pattern. You know exactly what you're going to get with certain shows. I knew exactly what I was going to get with Law and Order. I knew exactly what I was going to get with Seinfeld. I knew exactly what I was going to get with
Didn't people
Friends.
like that they didn't know what they were going to get with Game of Thrones? Like, you're like, I can't believe they killed him.
That's why you have to have different shows to watch. But I think some people like to just sit on the TV and not be super invested. You can also like be knitting and then watch.
Knitting.
What year is this conversation happening?
That sentence right there, Sam, sums Friends up. The fact that you're sat knitting whilst watching. But, you know, Game of Thrones is not nail-biting. Like, you cannot contain it. You're, like, literally on the edge of your seat. Friends, I mean, God, just snooze fast. Turn it off.
I'm hashtag Team Steph now.
I don't know.
I'm Team Friends.
I'm Team Friends all the way.
Hashtag Team Steph.
But we do love your passion, Steph. Keep it up. Coming up on DBL, Bernie Sanders asks Americans for their most bizarre medical bills. Do you have any that are downright ridiculous? And celebrities are known for their stage names, but do you know their actual names, like on their birth certificates? We're blowing your mind. Coming up next.
We don't have any comments. Oh, we're live. And I'm by myself. And I have to read these comments.
Everyone else is going to get barbecue.
I know, everyone's eating barbecue, and I gotta read these comments?
And it's a Broncos barbecue, and they should be Bears barbecue because they did beat us
That's
last
what I'm
year.
talking about, buddy. Way to help me out with this and give the Bears a little plug in there.
You're the only one up here. If
Oh, you
anyone
did-
asks, will just be like yesterday with the pirate thing. You guys will have a question in the.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they're gonna you're gonna get the real name of a celebrity.
And then we're gonna all have to guess
And then
what
you'll
it is.
guess, and then it'll you can already kind of see it in there, and then you'll have to guess. So it'll be just like yesterday with the pirate thing, but it's different.
The first thing I thought about, and I hope it's not one, I'm just gonna give one, because the first thing that popped in my head is B.I.G., Notorious B.I.G.
Okay, no, it's not that.
It's not?
Okay,
All right, because our audience
so
might
you're
not
good,
know.
You're good.
I'm like, I know his name, Christopher Wallace.
All right,
No, Christopher
Solo,
Wallace, probably
you
not.
got it. That's all you need.
All right. Wow. This is my nightmare right here. No, it's not my nightmare. Let's read some comments. Let's go. Margot, Erica is class with a whole lot of sass. Wearing your natural hair was the best decision. Bet it feels liberating. And she would say, yes, it does. I actually talked to her. Here she comes. I see pictures of Erica when we first started with that wig on, and I look, I'm like, wait, I know that person. I'm like, wait, that's Erica. It doesn't even look like the same person to me
I think that's
anymore.
how you can date our show. It's like BC and AD or whatever. What is it? Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. Did you know most celebrities' names are not their real names? Take the actress Olivia Wilde, for example. Olivia Cockburn just doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? So
Got something.
Stage names are alive and well in Hollywood, even in 2019. Okay. Today we're showing you the real names behind famous faces, but there's a twist. We're going to show you the real name first, and then we want you guys, as well as us, to guess which celebrity the name belongs to.
Let's
okay?
do it.
Okay. Oh, got some music. Here we go. Let's get started. Peter Gene Hernandez is the real name behind this Grammy-winning artist. His funky jam topped the charts for 14 weeks in 2014. So who is Peter? 2014.
I was going to ask who's Peter, but that's Bruno Mars.
I was just going to say Bruno Mars.
The picture looked like
him.
I thought it was Shaggy, but he wasn't.
Shaggy?
Yeah. Do you think Shaggy's his real name?
2014?
Yeah.
It's more like 2002. 2004.
It wasn't me.
Let's see who it is. The answer is Bruno Mars. Bruno says he got his stage name from the childhood nickname his dad gave him. He added Mars because it added some pizzazz. Okay, next,
I know this one.
Hudson made history in 2011 by becoming the first woman to have 5 songs from the same album reach #1. So who is this record breaker?
Katy Perry.
I'm saying Pink.
Oh, good one.
This picture's got to be more pixelated, because I can tell by
no, it's not the picture. I just know that her name was Kate Hudson, and because of Kate Hudson, she
that's
Kate
interesting.
Hudson.
Smart.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's see. Yep, Eric is right. The answer is Katy Perry. Katy says she adopted her stage name because her real name was just too close to actress Kate Hudson. She's right.
That's when you know you're famous, when you can get a pixelated picture of yourself
and you can still
know.
That's a great point.
That's
so
super
true.
fame.
Next up, we have another pop star. Her real name is Alicia Moore. I know this one too. She first hit radio airwaves in 2000 and is still making music today. Do you want me to give you a hint?
Did you just say it?
It's also part of a piano.
Keys?
Yes.
Alicia Keys?
Yes, there you go.
Oh, I thought it was Alicia Keys.
I thought it was Pink too.
Oh, I think you're right.
Pink.
Darn. I think you're right.
I said
Darn.
Pink for the last one.
Does
that count?
Yes, that counts out.
Does it
that counts.
spill over?
Yes, it
I
spills
thought
over.
you just said it.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
It doesn't count.
She put you on the wrong track, buddy.
I know.
I know.
Sam
Here I
threw me
said
off
Alicia
again.
Keys because the first name was Alicia. Out. Yikes, Sam. I gotta think a little bit harder. The answer is Pink. Okay, so let's go to this next one. Finally, 51-year-old Eric Marlon Bishop. Okay, is an actor, a singer, and a Golden Globe winner. He's making headlines now for his love life. Oh.
This looks just like Jamie Foxx, right?
Who is this for his love life? It must be Jamie Foxx. You're right.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
I'm piggybacking on Jeff.
I'm piggybacking on you.
Pixelated faces.
Yeah, I think Jeff's
I
right.
only know the music artist.
Let's see. The answer is Jamie Foxx.
Yes,
Good job,
good
Jeff.
job.
Jamie got his start as a comedian. He says he noticed female comedians were usually called first to perform, so he changed his name to Jamie Foxx to avoid bias. It's amazing.
Wow.
Marlon Bishop's
smart.
a pretty cool name, though. If you drop the Eric, Marlon Bishop.
Yeah, that is a good one.
That's a cool name.
Sounds like a jazz singer.
Sounds like a safety, like for the Giants.
Yeah. You'd be really good at a game with pixelated faces.
You want to know an inside burner?
Yeah.
I lost the first Big Brother because they pixelated everyone's face together, and I had to win like this competition.
And you lost it?
And I lost.
I thought you were
Now
good
you're
at
a
it.
master of pixelated faces.
Because I studied for the past 10 years.
Made up for it. Ready?
Do you have a power name? My power name would be Mobius Wilcox.
That's not powerful.
You don't like that?
You've thought about that?
Yeah, I thought about that in my car this morning.
No.
No?
You have too much time on your hands. Coming up on DBL, Bernie Sanders is asking people for their strange stories when it comes to medical bills. We'll share some coming up next.
Nation, it's It's Raquel here with Leo, and we have a movie review of Hustlers. And every time I say that name, I can't help but think of Cardi B's line going, money!
Yeah, right? I mean, the whole trailer and movie was made for that song.
I think that trailer is a perfect description of this movie. I really liked it. I have to say that, straight up, it was a very good movie based off of a true story.
Yeah.
And it had a heart to it. It didn't play into stereotypes that you normally see with dancers.
Yeah, I think this had a very realistic backdoor take on the stripping industry. And it's something that somebody like me actually had no idea about. And even the public seeing this, a lot of them won't know about this, but this is actually a very seemingly realistic take. I mean, they've got problems outside of stripping. There's even one scene where one of the strippers is crying and really upset because her parents had just thrown her out after deciding to make this decision to become a stripper.
It's very compelling in that sense, and if you don't know any background of the movie, it's about a group of dancers, or former dancers at the time, who decide to kind of befriend, I think is the best word, men of Wall Street to get money from them. But then it escalates to the point where they get in trouble with the law.
Yeah, it gets illegal really quickly.
I have to say, J-Lo's performance is outstanding. One of her best so far.
Yeah, one of her best in the last 5 years. She did fantastically in this movie. Played a great kind of mob boss, if you will. Almost Leonardo DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street, almost.
But with more of a heart and a soul.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That is the one difference I'd like to say. I would recommend seeing it in theaters. Honestly, I think it's that good.
Yeah,
I really
agree.
do.
Definitely check this one out in theaters, y'all.
All right, see you next time.
See ya.
Money.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for a DBL Health Alert sponsored by eHealth. Vermont Senator and Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders recently asked Twitter, "What's the most absurd medical bill you've ever received?" Well, followers did not hold back. One person shared a $500,000 medical bill since he didn't have insurance. Another brought up a $35,000 bill just to birth her child. And lastly, a $12,000 bill for less than an hour in the ER for a lower back sprain. This is completely unacceptable and completely unjust. People are going bankrupt, losing their homes, not able to provide for their families because
and now
God
hospitals
forbid
are suing.
They get sick.
Right, and that's why you need insurance. And one of the things that really I took away from the Democratic debate, which is weird, is Kamala Harris said she had a constituent that said she was in the car with her kid, and she knew if she walked into the hotel and those opening glass doors, it was going to bankrupt her family. But her son's got a 105-degree temperature. What do you do?
Yeah.
You have to have insurance. It's such a big deal. It's so scary.
It's sad.
I've been in arguments with close people, friends of mine, and they're telling me I'm saving so much money not having insurance. And they have, I don't want to be too specific, but I'm like, do you understand what's going to happen if something happens to you or your child? Do you think you're going to be saving the money
$1 million,
then? Your
seriously.
life is you have to go bankrupt.
Your
you have to
financial
call
life as you know it is
right.
over, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there is problems on the other side, with the pharmaceutical companies and things like that.
I can't even get started with the pharmaceutical companies.
But you need insurance. You have to have insurance.
Right, but these pharmaceutical companies are completely taking advantage.
Yes.
I mean, there's people here in America that are diabetic and they're rationing their insulin.
I met a guy giving a talk at NABJ who just asked a question and just randomly inserted. It wasn't even a big deal to him that he's rationing.
Oh, that's common today.
Yeah,
that's very common.
It wasn't even in relation to his question.
Yeah, you
that's
can
how normalized
you can
it
go
is.
to Canada. Bernie Sanders took a bunch of diabetic patients to Canada to get their insulin, and they all saved tens of thousands of dollars.
Let's get some folks insured.
I know, unbelievable. We'll be right back.
And for affordable quality health insurance, call eHealth at 1-800-850-0679.
All right. I mean, honestly, we're talking about insurance, but as somebody that I was broke. I ruptured my Achilles tendon at 29 with no health insurance. I was a comic, and I feel like that financially set me back
Okay.
4 years because you have to max out your credit cards to pay for your surgery. Then you start getting penalties for being at your credit card max. Then you get penalties for not being able to pay.
Right, and then
minimum.
you got to pay the what is it? The minimum percentage or whatever.
And you get a
Why can't I think of the word?
Yeah, the minimum payment.
Okay.
No, not the principal.
Yeah, the minimum.
What's
payment.
the payment? What's the when you get penalized? What's the payment? That portion you have to pay an extra $250 because you didn't pay your thing.
Deductible?
No, not deductible.
The minimum payment?
Yeah, but what if you don't pay it? The interest.
Yeah.
There we go.
What are we getting at?
Was I explaining?
But
It was in my head. I couldn't
what's
think of
really
it.
scary, and it actually affects people, you really figure out the insurance situation on the other side if you're in another country, because I cut my leg open like really severely.
To start the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to come back and it got infected, and it was like this whole thing, like some of it was like, it cost me thousands of dollars because I couldn't go to the hospital. They treated me in Mexico, and then I came back and had to figure it out here. So it gets really costly for all people because you just never know what's going to happen.
Tori, can you come here? We're talking about insurance, and you look like you just came in from the Oregon Trail. How did they do it with tonics and stagecoach elixirs?
Did you just buy it?
Someone asked me if I was, how scary was it to be on the Titanic? And I said, pretty scary. Arash? And then Travis said, who was it? Oh, David. Yeah. And then Travis said, was exciting being on the Oregon Trail. And we did dysentery jokes for a while. So you're a little bit late.
Were you at your desk or you at a apothecary table?
Lavender calendula oil for all. Outside, I was doing butter churning.
Tori, is this going to be a one and done for that dress?
I'm buying it.
She's buying it.
What do you guys think?
I love it.
Okay.
It's great.
See, men don't like it, but women like it.
And gay men.
And gay men like it. So I'm buying it. Tori, if you wore
And if you
a
ever need to milk
thigh-high
cows in the
black
stable.
boot, yeah.
It looks like what you see under a microscope.
Yeah, yep. I don't know.
What was that?
I don't know what that was.
Things got weird.
Erica, do you like that dress? No. Okay, there.
Welcome back to DBL. We have a new segment we are debuting today. Every Friday, DBL will feature an extraordinary person who made a big impact by doing something kind for someone else. So let's get right to our first DBL superstar of the week. Woo! All right, so the story all starts with a wrong text message. A friend was trying to reach Alex Jakeman to bring food over for his family. His 4-year-old son, Noah, recently suffered a seizure and is in the ICU. One number was off, and instead, she texted Bill Clayton. When Bill learned about what happened, he asked how he could help. Bill set up a Facebook fundraiser that has raised over $1,000 for little Noah. A GoFundMe for Noah has also reached $14,000. When Bill was asked why he was doing this, he said he was teaching his son how to step up to do what's right. What a good dad. What a good person. And really quickly, little Noah, you know, he still is in the ICU, but they believe that he will make a full recovery, and the money would be used for a handicapped van for him.
Oh, so, that's great.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, what a great guy.
Total stranger. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. I told you, it's good people in the world. I said at the beginning of the show.
It's important to focus on that.
I love this new segment.
In today's day and age. Me too. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Have a good day, everybody. Bye. Happy Friday. Have a happy weekend.
Yeah.
This is mystery flavor?
Yep.
Okay, so this
hey guys,
is mystery flavor.
Kelly and Sam here. We're gonna taste test the new mystery Oreo.
Okay.
Smell it?
Smells like graham cracker.
Yeah, like cinnamon.
It's good.
Tastes like Teddy Grahams.
Tastes exactly like Teddy Grahams.
Jeff, you wanna try this?
No thanks.
Come on.
That tastes exactly.
Can you smell it?
Or cinnamon graham crackers, which I know is very similar to Teddy Grahams.
That's what Rob thinks.
Cinnamon graham crackers?
You know
That's
what?
a cinnamon
I'm
graham
smelling
cracker.
It. Sure is. Maybe it tastes like waffle and syrup, or smells like waffle and syrup.
Oh, waffles and syrup?
I would say cinnamon graham crackers.
Oh, it does kind of smell like syrup. And anyways, guys, you can go to mysteryoreo.com, type in the guess. Tori, you want to try it?
Well, I just worked
You
out.
can win $50,000 if you guess correctly.
I say Teddy Graham.
I think Teddy Grahams too. That's what I said.
See?
Jeray, you want to try one?
I tried one, and that's why I told you first.
He's the one who
You
said
wanna try
Teddy
one?
Okay, I'll try one.
Can I be honest? It's not that good.
It's not my favorite. This is definitely cinnamon Teddy Graham.
It's like 100%. I'm kind of a little...
DBL Nation, let us know if you're going to try the new mystery Oreo, and if you do, will you be submitting to win $50,000? Great show coming up. Bye. Sorry I'm talking with my mouth full.
What we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Rudy Giuliani's on-air meltdown.
You are a sellout. You are telling me that I'm a sellout.
We're talking all about his crazy contradiction on live TV. Then, topless women win big as a public ban gets dropped in 5 states. Are you okay with the decision? Plus, Demi Moore on her sex life with Ashton Kutcher. Why she says he used their threesomes as an excuse for cheating. And why is Celine Dion begging Drake not to get a tattoo of her face?
Can I tell you something? Don't do that.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. Thank goodness. Tori Showman, what day is it?
It's a Friday.
I like that.
I love it too.
Good.
That was good. That got me in the mood.
It's good.
Thank you, Tori. And so, Tori, you're giving me some Anne of Avonlea puffed sleeves.
It's a little much, but I'm loving it.
I'm digging it. Okay, well, I'm digging it. I see Anna Green Gables all over
Al
you.
just goes,
All right, well, it is Friday, September 20th. I'm here with Tori, Jeff, Al. I am Sam. Let's get right to it.
We have Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
It keeps going. Rudy Giuliani, the president's lawyer, contradicted himself on live TV last night. It all happened on CNN. Tori and I were watching and texting at the same time. Watch.
And you want to cover some ridiculous charge that I urged the Ukrainian government to investigate corruption. Well, I did, and I'm proud of it.
Well, then
And
it's not a ridiculous allegation. You
It's
just
a
admitted
ridiculous
it.
allegation.
You just
it's
admitted
a ridiculous allegation.
Rudy,
of course,
you
of
just
course,
admitted
of
that you
course
did
I
it.
should.
And you better believe social media lit up after that. One person tweeted, if Rudy Giuliani's family loves him, they will get him help now, not tomorrow. Now, another tweeted, to say Rudy Giuliani is bat bleep crazy is truly insulting to Baps and bleep. Listen, I don't want any insults. This was clearly... Tori and I were in awe. We were texting each other.
What were you thinking?
This...
Tell everybody what you just told me.
Okay, so it lasted a half an hour. I think if it was just 15 seconds, I honestly don't think it would have been that big of a deal. We see people get heated on CNN, on Fox News, on MSNBC all the time. It's almost like these talking heads. You put them together, they get into these fights. It was that conversation you just witnessed over and over again for 30 minutes. No exaggeration. And it was concerning because Rudy Giuliani, and I got to give Chris Cuomo credit, and I'm not being biased here at all. He kept his calm. He tried to keep reeling Rudy Giuliani back. They have a long history of a friendship, those two. You could tell Cuomo's trying to get back to that friendship. But Tori, something was off with Rudy Giuliani. And to me, it was concerning.
Yeah, so a lot of people, and again, I want to preface this is total rumor, but in D.C. and the insider scoop, and again, I can't emphasize that I don't know this. This is just allegations. Giuliani loves to go out for those big steak dinners, have a big couple martinis, and then go on a cable news show that he likes. And he really does like Cuomo. They are good friends. So some people on Twitter were concerned that maybe it had a few too many. He slurred a lot. He kind of was all over the place.
It was the repetition that worried me.
Yeah, and it did worry me. Now, I just don't know if you guys think this is a tactic to just distract us.
No.
Or if there's something really wrong.
I think there's something
here.
really wrong. I do not think that tactic, to me, his behavior felt completely organic, and that's what was concerning. So chime in, though, DBL Nation, especially if you watched it live, because, again, for 30 minutes compared to that 15-second clip is a big difference. Well, a picture of the president has gone viral. Here it is. Do you see what's in his back pocket? That's a wad of $20 bills. The president said he carries it to give tips at the hotel. Gotta give him props for this one. That's a good tip. I know some people are saying he's the president. He should be giving out hundies. No, I think $20 is great.
I would have taken a 5, a 10, anything at the ice cream store. I think it's fantastic. What's weird is historically presidents get their wallet taken away. Their credit cards are not in use. You're not a normal citizen. So it's weird to see a president with just money, but I think it's fantastic that he's tipping people.
I think it's fantastic that you gave him a compliment.
Hey, look at me.
I think it's awesome. Why not? I think it's cool the president to tip people. You know what I mean? I don't think any other president did that, and maybe they did. I don't know.
They may have.
I never thought they had it. They weren't. Honestly, I didn't think presidents. And I'm more curious about how you guys tip than our president. But I never thought the presidents were allowed to have somebody get that close to them to be able to tip. I always thought that the Secret Service would have like a hey, buddy.
Maybe he just gives it to the Secret Service.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then now they're distracted.
Tuck this in Benny's coat pocket over there.
I like how Jeff makes it sound like a mafioso thing, the way you do it.
Now, I mean, if you're tipping people,
I like it the way
gangster,
you do. I like the way you do it, though.
Now, I already know, Jeff. Do you guys tip with pickup orders?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, at the ice cream store, I'd flip the thing and it would say 15%, and I get people were like, "What are you doing? You're getting me ice cream, but I made your waffle cone. I burned myself on the hands, and the cone's $3, so it would really mean a lot for $1."
How many people call ahead for ice cream?
No. When you come to get in the line,
he just said delivery.
When you go to pick up,
She wanted to get that story in so bad. That's why
every story starts with the ice cream.
And Green Gables is mad.
You snuck it in earlier, and then you'd even answer Al's question.
Yes, he did. I thought you meant when you're.
It just all goes back to. I'd be like, how do you get to the mall from here? You'd be like, well, from the ice cream store in LA or here in Denver?
Okay, we'll get to the next story. Okay, this next story, I absolutely love.
To make ice cream.
Yeah, good. Okay, we're gonna have jokes about her dress all day long, so just brace yourself.
Sure.
This next story, actually, when I woke up, brought me to tears. For the first time ever, a visibly pregnant CEO is on the cover of a business magazine. This is Audrey Gelman, the CEO of The Wing, a women's co-working space. She says it's important to show it's possible to run a business and a family. Again, this is the first time we've ever seen a woman pregnant in a position of power as a CEO on a business magazine.
Isn't that crazy?
Period.
Isn't that the weirdest thing you've ever heard?
How, Tori, we've had this conversation on the show. We were both brought up to think that you got to choose between societal norms, makes you feel like that you have to choose between career and family. And that's the truth. But a lot of women are balancing both. But there is a sense that you will not be able to pull it off. And for those of you that choose one or the other, more power to you, but that's a choice.
Right.
You know, you want to be able to have that choice.
Yeah, I just think something about visuals are important, and magazine covers will go down in history, important ones. And this one, crazy it is that it's 2019, is she's just the definition of a boss. She's holding on to her baby, holding on to her career. I'm insanely amazed that that's the first one.
I wish I would have seen that as a young girl, because I really did hold back from having a family for a long time, because I never thought I'd be able to do both.
And also, really quickly, I don't want to bring this like any conversation we talk about men as well, but I think about my co-host here, Jeff, you had your second son and you were back at work a couple of days later.
Yeah.
And it's like let's re-examine the entire dynamic.
Yes.
The woman shouldn't have to give up her career, and the man shouldn't have to give up his family.
That's right.
I don't want to be at work knowing that my newborn son or daughter is in the same city, and I'm not with. Yeah, so it's like, let's figure this out. We put people on the moon. Let's figure out how that we can have our families and push them the right way into the future.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, ladies out there, Are you listening? Do you ever want to go topless in public? Tori, well, now you can legally bear it all in at least 5 states, including Utah, right here in Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, Kansas, and Oklahoma. As a woman, Tori, how do you feel about this?
So I personally wouldn't do it, but I also think it's a fantastic thing just to have equality. I don't think we're going to see a ton of topless women running.
I don't either.
And I also think if there is a predator that does something, yeah, there's always going to be something. But women's suffrage movement, women trying to do anything, there's pushback. But for this, we just want equality. If a guy can do it, let a woman have the choice.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying totally, but America's not ready for this.
You don't
we
think?
can't do it. No, I think it's a terrible idea.
Do you think
I don't
it's
think we're
dangerous?
ready. I think it's dangerous. I just think it's a bad idea. We're not ready. I've watched TV. I read social media. I have interactions with people in general.
What do you think would happen, Jen?
We're not ready.
You keep it real. So what do you think would happen tomorrow if, people really did adopt this and they're actually practicing this?
First of all, I was shocked that every woman in this room was like, if you walk by like a construction site, people whistle at you or holler at you, I'm being very like movie-like or TV-like. I thought that was ridiculous. And you guys are like, no, it happens all the time. What do you think's going to happen when women are walking around topless?
Yeah.
This is not. I get your feminist side of it, but this is societal-wise. This is bad.
Totally agree with you, but that's also how you create change. There's always going to be an uncomfortable period before it's normalized, before people finally accept it, and it's going to be very uncomfortable.
What did people say about weed?
We are very puritanical here, though, so it's not like we're in.
We were until we honestly, like obviously the marijuana thing, it brought money in the cities, but people said when you legalize weed, what's next? Right. Cocaine at CVS, and what's up? What's happening? We're in Denver now.
We've had $1 billion in revenue.
Chirping. Nothing happened, but it took a while.
It did.
Do you think this is empowering or it's dangerous? Where would you go on that scale?
On the beach. I mean,
not on the beach. In the city.
No, it has to be in it has to be in public areas. You can't just do it anywhere. So where a man could take off his shirt, a woman should be able to.
So at the baseball game.
At the park.
I don't think a man can take his shirt off at the baseball game.
Yeah, I don't know if they can. But like at a public park, for instance, this rule would say, if a woman wanted to do the same and lay down as a man wants to lay down, then that should be okay. But I hear that the danger is a real issue.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
All right, we'll chime in, DBL Nation, especially if you live in one of those states. We would love to hear from you.
Did Utah surprise you?
Yeah, Oklahoma surprised me too.
Yes. DBL's Live coming up. Why is Celine Dion begging Drake not to get her face tattooed on his body? Plus, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are at the top of the presidential pack, but how old is too old to be president? Dale Hansen from our sister station in Dallas gives his DBL Take. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. Forget he or she. Singer Sam Smith wants to be known as they. Sam is non-binary, so should you be expected to ask people what their preferred pronoun is? Your comments coming up next.
Grubhub. Hey DBL Nation, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. Happy Friday. We're happy to have you here with us today. We've got a great show coming up for you, but our hosts are laughing over there. I want to get in on the joke, so let's go.
Oh my God, if nobody wants to make it.
What are y'all laughing about up here? We want to laugh. Okay, it's Friday.
Well, Margot gave in a comment because I'm like, I've been to a nude beach like in Margot, always writing in. Thanks. I've been to a nude beach like in Europe and stuff, and she wrote in exactly what I said. It's nothing you want to see, and that includes the men.
So she said, trust me, we do this in Portland, or quite often. Trust me, it's never the type you want to see, LOL. Guys run around in thongs, too, she said, and then sit on the train, which is awkward.
In thongs?
Wait, they sit on the train in thongs?
That's a really horrific experience.
With their Velcro sandals and then their thongs?
Natalie M. says it's a shame that women have to hide because men can't stop being dangerous. That's a really good point. And then the last time I was around a bunch of topless femmes, I ended up yelling, "Put it on! Put it on!" Interesting.
Who wrote that?
Michael Loveland.
Got the jokes, this guy.
Mr. Vato also wrote, "Tori, what are you wearing?" Anywho.
Tori, I like your confidence. Are you like...
I'm trying different stuff. I'm trying to find a new style. This is a more Sammy feel.
DBL Nation, question: should Tori buy this dress and keep it, or should she get rid of it?
Burn wrong.
Oh, it's too much of a statement dress for $150.
Okay, it's a little expensive, guys. So now here's the other thing. Can I be honest?
People remember
prefer that dress.
Now, you're right. Now, it's taped, so if I didn't tape it, it'd be even more billowy.
It's already too big.
Yeah. So Kiri is our wardrobe stylist. What do you think about this dress? We're playing a little bit
I know,
today.
but I don't think for 150 because it's a statement piece.
Right.
You're
that girl.
Yeah.
Well, you can't wear that often.
I'm also
It's like my orange Adidas jumpsuit.
I don't want to.
Well, 150 is
I
way
can't
too
do that.
expensive.
I think it's way too expensive.
Now, tell me what you like and dislike about the dress as a stylist.
So what I love about it is that they managed to do the length without it being frumpy because you have these like kind of sort of modest slits.
Yeah.
So shoulders are awesome.
And snakeskin.
Cinching is great, snakeskin, and the fact that you can cinch it. So.
Yeah, and it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
I have to go churn some butter, but I'll be right back. Bye.
Churn the butter.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Merriam-Webster has added a new definition to a well-known pronoun. Here it is. They now refers to a single person whose gender identity is non-binary, and this might help explain it a bit more. For males, proper pronouns include he, him, his. For females, proper pronouns include she, her, and hers. And for people who don't identify as either male or female, pronouns are they, them, their. And speaking of which, singer Sam Smith has now been asked to be referred to as they. Smith said they no longer prefer to go by male pronouns. So DBL Nation, should you be expected to ask people what their preferred pronoun is? Lots of you writing in on this one.
Yeah.
Tori, take it away.
A lot of engagement on this. Barb from Facebook says, look, I'll call you whatever you want, but it's not my responsibility to ask for your pronouns. If people want to be treated a certain way, they need to own up to their feelings and speak up. Barb, I'm with you on this, and I also think we're all on a learning curve here. It's going to take a while. This isn't a right or wrong thing right away, and I think people who are non-binary would give you that chance. What I don't want to do is if I say, hey, I prefer they, and you continually call me she as a disrespectful, I'm not going to even follow you, that's where I think you've crossed the line. But right now, we're really learning. Language changes, people. It evolves.
All right, Danny from Facebook says, I'm all for calling people whatever they want, but behind closed doors, I think calling one person they is crazy. Danny, I got to be honest with you, I think that's super honest of you to say. I think a lot of people feel that way. I just got to piggyback off of what Tori said. We are in a different time. The key to longevity is changing with the times. We have to change. Listen, I'm the first person to tell you, I don't know everything about transsexuals or transitioning or they or she. I get very nervous sometimes when I'm around someone like that because I don't want to insult them. All I want is respect. If I call someone miss or ma'am or sir, and then they say, excuse me, I'd rather prefer they. I'm perfectly fine with that. I didn't mean any disrespect. All I wanted to do is be respectful. But if you come at me like it's a problem, that's where I have a problem with this. So let's all learn together. Let's make this world a better place.
Cool, cool. All right. Sheila from Facebook says, if you ask someone their name, why not add this to the conversation? It will only help you get to know someone better and not offend them. It's really not an inconvenience at all unless you want it to be. Sheila, I agree, and I'll say this to it as well, because people say, your first comment was, well, I'm not gonna remember to ask. And of course, because we are all of a certain age. But now when you go to dinner or somebody's making cookies, Jeff, do you have a gluten allergy?
Right.
Did people ask you that 10 years ago?
Such a good point. Are you vegan?
Now it's like, oh, I'm having a Super Bowl party. A Super Bowl party. And people, they're veggie options. They're good, and people are so used to it. And so, it didn't take that long.
That wasn't the case 10 years ago.
So, we'll get used to a lot of these things.
I think so,
and
too.
it'll take less time than you think. So, good on you. I appreciate what you said.
And if you go to college campuses today, that's like the first thing that the instructors ask you.
I would think maybe elementary and middle schools.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the first thing they ask you is, what's the pronoun that you prefer, that you identify with. So, we are all in this together, though. Great conversation. Coming up on DBL, Demi Moore holds nothing back in her new book, especially when it comes to Ashton Kutcher. Did he use threesomes to excuse cheating? And is it possible to be too old for the presidency? Dallas sportscaster Dale Hansen, known for his viral opinions, weighs in next on DBL.
First of all, hey guys, so Ron wants to ask a question. Tori, why did you end up wearing the dress? Also, Ron, I'm going to give you a shout out. I know you got our signed picture of us, but we want to see how you're feeling. Let's get an update. Ron's going through some chemo issues, and we want to be there for him. We love you, Ron. Now, here's where I wore it. When he first met me in season 1, I was very like, objection, boardroom A. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of blazers. Now, recently I've lost some weight, and I'm trying to find a new style. Now, I might have gone a little too bohemian-esque, prairie.
I don't even think bohemian
is it prairie?
It's prairie.
Okay, but it
it's
moves.
straight up prairie.
Okay. I will be honest, on this camera screen, the sleeves look enormous.
They do just look, because I actually got a shirt from Rent the One Way that I thought was so cute, and then I put it on, the sleeves were huge, and I was like, that doesn't look good on camera.
I think I need to be taller.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
okay.
The consensus on the chat, I'm sorry to say,
is
don't buy it.
It's don't, okay.
Yeah.
It's a strong no.
It's a pretty strong
Was there
no.
anyone who liked it?
A couple of the men said if you love it, go for
So
it.
no, no
Brandy
one liked
Sprung
it.
said if you like it, go for it, but
But it's a
I
no.
wouldn't do it.
Okay, so it's a no.
I
Okay.
think it's probably a no.
All right, well, you know what? We're here every day, and
We
try
love that
different
you're
things.
honest with you. We like to be honest with you.
Right, and I'm
Be honest with us.
trying new styles. So what I think I'm going for, guys, is this is going to sound a little bit weird, but more minimalism.
Yeah.
I don't want, I just want to like streamline. So anyway, you're going to see me trying some new things. This was
More
obviously
statement piece
a
shirts.
miss.
That's okay.
But don't
Give it a
worry,
try.
I've hidden my dignity in these sleeves.
Welcome back to DBL. How old is too old to take office? Former President Jimmy Carter is making headlines this week for what he said about putting an age limit on presidency. Watch.
You know, if I were just 80 years old, if I was 15 years younger, I don't believe I could undertake the duties that I experienced when I was president. But one thing, you have to be very flexible with your mind. You have to be able to go from one subject
Dale Hansen from our sister station in Dallas is also weighing in on this topic. Here is Dale's DBL Take.
There's a great argument in this country about how old is too old to be president, and I'm having a hard time coming up with a number. I'm 71. I know I look 68, and thank you very much, but I think I'm too old to be president. And now that all my fellow baby boomers are upset because age is just a number, let's discuss it a bit. Ben Franklin helped write the Declaration of Independence, and at the age of 70 was the oldest to sign it, and then signed the Constitution at 81. But does anyone think there's a Ben Franklin on the ballot? I don't think so either. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was 76, and as great as her paintings were, she was a painter. Ronald Reagan was our oldest president in 1980 at the age of 69, and I think he led America out of a very dark place. He made me proud to be an American again. But by the end of his second term, he wasn't the Ronald Reagan at 69 either. Maybe because I'm a child of the 60s, John Kennedy has always been my favorite president. He made mistakes like they all do. He did a lot of things he shouldn't have, like most of us do. But he did make me believe in the future of America. And isn't that what we really want? At 71, I might not have much of a future, but my kids and grandkids do. And I want a president who doesn't talk about what we used to be. I want a president who talks about what we can be. And if they will do that, and if they can do that, then I would agree that age is just a number. An important number, but just a number.
What do we think about this?
I think it's two different things that we're talking about. One is ideologically, like, are you able to change? If you know, Jeff, when you talk to somebody and they're like, "Oh, that's not music. Music was good when I was young."
Right.
You know, it's like you kind of get fixated in your own generation. The other thing is more of a biological thing, and that's what I'm always concerned about. Is that human beings can be fine and they kind of go off a cliff. We've all had older people where they were good one Thanksgiving, and you go back to second Thanksgiving and they're like a different person.
I mean, that's Reagan's two administrations. To be honest. We have to be honest here. Reagan was not all there for the second part of his administration. He had strong signs of dementia. He was in a lot of anesthesia for some surgery, and people were worrying who was in charge of the White House.
Right. But so, can't you do this as a case-by-case basis?
Yeah.
What if we cut Ruth Bader Ginsburg off 20 years ago?
Great point.
What would have happened?
It's a great point.
So
I think it is who's healthy enough and who's quick enough and who can't. You don't get sleep as a president. So who can stay there all the time, really ready? You got to be
a 50-year-old president.
Well, as constituents,
not a 77 president.
I think as constituents, you gotta really make sure that you do your due diligence to look at it case by case. I think it's too much of a generalization.
Well, I think we can generalize it after 75. Your ability to go. If somebody lived 75 years and dropped dead, you'd be like, that's a good run. You know, I'll take 75 years.
My dad's in his 70s, and my mom just turned 70, and they are sharp and they are healthy. And
not everybody gets that deal, though.
I understand that, but why would you isolate those presidential candidates that are able?
I would say because they're under more stress than most human beings on the planet.
Well, makes it a good conversation.
Argument.
We will be right back.
No, it's great.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Tori, can you tell us what that's going to say?
Yeah, so this is for Kelly Schuberth. I'm making a cross stitch, and I just started letters, which I've never done for the first time. Oh my God, I'm cross stitching in this dress. This is terrible. Anywho, it's supposed to say. I didn't think about
that thing with the wheel and the stick when you're
the loom. So this broke too, but it's a really long quote. She packed up her potential and all that she had learned, grabbed a cute pair of shoes, and headed out to change a few things.
Jeez.
And then look at this part. Look at this part.
He's not even sleeping. He died.
Look at this part.
Do you find it necessary to bring us up here for the 2 minutes we have to sit here
We have 5
between
minutes, 7
breaks?
minutes, and I'm not doing anything, and you guys are talking sports, so I want to do my own thing.
She's making it for me.
Also, I'm not doing this part. Her heart glowed with a
Now you're
degree
showing
of
us the stuff you're not
happy assurance. I'm not doing that.
We didn't want to hear about the
Who
stuff
needs
you
that?
are doing.
This is her heart glowed with a degree of happy assurance. But I did do this part. Watch how it looks to the world. You tell me if you can read it. I don't think you can. Sorry, Kelly.
Stay up all night.
I don't think you can read this part.
On Fairfax.
All right.
Skateboard shop.
Yeah, he does with that hat on.
Yeah.
Little House on the Prairie.
Every
that's
time
right.
I would go to the dime.
What are you guys doing this weekend?
Cross stitching.
Going to Vegas today.
Ooh.
What are you doing there?
Let me know if you want me to throw some best down for you.
Oh, okay.
On the lines and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't do pro, but I can do college.
Can you do pro?
I mean, I'm coming back.
Oh,
Sunday.
yeah.
But I can get it
There's
next
some
time.
good ones tomorrow. So Michigan plays Wisconsin tomorrow.
Oh!
That's going to be a good game.
Go
A lot of
Blue.
people are saying, like, Blue's going to get killed. So
Yeah,
that might
they
be one
should've
to
lost
bet
to
on.
Navy last week.
I know, but you never know.
To
You never
Navy?
know.
Navy
Are we not
should have
good?
beat them.
Is Michigan not good?
They're ranked, but they almost lost to Navy in like triple
Navy?
overtime. So people are saying they're going to get
Navy's not
rolled by
bad.
Wisconsin.
No, I know, but
Navy
Michigan
plays
should-
a weird kind of football, so it's like they get a lot of people just because. And also, I heard they're super because it's the military, so they're disciplined, so they don't get any holding penalties. They're like a machine. You can beat them because they don't have the best athletes, but they're just so
And then
disciplined. in the
Notre
way they
Dame,
play.
Georgia at night. Everyone's saying Georgia's going to run them over, but I'm a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah.
I try to get someone from the Midwest, so I like Northwestern, but they stink. And I cheer for
Northwestern's
Notre Dame.
good every 6 years.
I love them because they play hard and they're always in the game,
Yeah.
you know. But so
And
it's going to be good
Big
football
Ten
tomorrow.
love.
What's the Northwestern's mascot?
Wildcats.
That's what they do when they get a first down.
Oh, that's the thing. Wildcats. Okay.
They go.
Yeah, I was like, what is he doing?
But who else does that?
That's so weird.
Every time they get a first down, they're like Wildcat. First down.
Oh, I had.
How weird is that?
Who was I telling?
Why?
My job. I want my job to be to do branding for the NFL for individual players. What was I saying for one player? What was his name? Because I wanted.
Hi, I am Tori Schulman, and I am DBL's Legal Eagle. So I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., not Virginia, not Maryland, Washington, D.C. What's coming up in DBL that's very exciting is some strong conversations and some sparks are gonna fly. The co-host that makes me laugh the most is Al, because he's funny, and then also Jeff because he's so sad. That's why you're sleeping.
Anywho, I'm really looking forward to Lindsay joining the show because she's going to bring my game up, keep me on my toes, but also get a little taste of the Shulminator. Instead of saying, he's wrong, he's not. We saw the percentages. I'm always interested in what you, the viewer, has to say. And I'm not scared to debate you because sometimes you win. You
Just
do.
sometimes. Tori's
that's
good
true.
at debating.
Yeah, but I've learned a lot from the DBL Nation and from you guys. And I think in the first couple seasons, I came in at like a 10 all the time. And it didn't even feel good, to be honest, in my body. Like, it was a lot of anxiety. And so now when we discuss things, it's lovely to modulate. And I learned that from you guys. And you guys. So thank you all.
We're so lucky to have you.
Thank you.
We love you.
Especially in this era.
Here's what's coming up next.
Shulminator.
Why does Celine Dion want
Hi, it's Raquel here with
tattooing her face on his body? Then, Demi Moore's bedroom bombshells. Did Ashton Kutcher use group sex as an excuse for cheating? And will Game of Thrones sweep up at the Emmys? We've got a preview of television's biggest night when DBL comes back.
It's Raquel here with the DBL Digital team. Right now, it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trendy news you need to know in under 2 minutes. Now let's get that timer up and get started. And all over the world today, people are hitting the streets for the global climate strike, leaving classrooms and offices. Here are images from all around the world of young activists. There are thousands of marches planned today in more than 100 countries. And if you look up in the sky, what do you see? It's a bird? It's a plane? It's Superman? Well, the last two are more likely now. Birds are vanishing all across the US and Canada. Since 1970, scientists say we have lost 3 billion birds. Huge hit to the population. But you can help by eating organic foods to help reduce pesticides and keep your cats inside. Yes, you heard me right. They're hunters. And Motown fans, it's the label's 60th anniversary. To celebrate, they are opening the vaults. 60 never-before-heard tracks are ready to download or stream, and you can hear songs from Stevie Wonder, The Temptations, Jackson 5, and The Supremes. I could go on, but let's just say happy listening. Now, Halloween is my favorite holiday, but leading up to it means having to see costumes we never, ever asked for. Like this, quote, sexy vegan burger, or Bob Ross, or Mr. Rogers. What is happening? Seriously. DBL Nation, help me out here. I want to see your best Halloween costumes. That's it for Fast Blast. See you next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. We are live, so let's get started. Rapper Drake has a thing for tattooing famous faces on his body. Now he wants to add Celine Dion's, and she's begging him not to. Watch.
Please, Drake, I love you very much. Don't do that. You can write me love letters. You can send me autographs for my kids. You can come and visit. I mean, this is not the money maker over here, first of all. But the thing that I want to say to you is that as you go older, you too, when time comes, my face will go longer and it will go not prettier.
Oh, Celine, I love her. She's so self-deprecating. And just so you know, I mean, do you want to hear all the celebrities that Drake has tattooed on his body? So we got Denzel Washington, Aaliyah, Sade, the Beatles, Rihanna eating an ice cream.
Yeah.
And apparently he told Celine that he was going to do this over a year ago. So
do you think he just like loves her voice? Is it a Canadian thing?
Oh, maybe. I didn't even put that together.
Oh, it was 2 years ago at the Billboard Music Awards. So he's been trying to get her blessing for quite some time. And back then she said no, too.
How weird. If you had to get one celebrity, who would you get on your body? You had to.
I think it would be Kurt Cobain.
Oh,
that's a good one. Instead of Celine Dion, I get Deion Sanders, two-sport athlete. I do stand-up and I do this. So
I like that.
I like it.
I'd get a giant Christopher Walken on my back.
Oh, that'd be good.
What about you, T-Bone?
I think I do. Can I say Seabiscuit?
Sure.
Okay, the horse.
That's cool.
That's not a. What
Yes.
Sam, don't co-sign that. We're doing human faces, and she picked a horse that's been dead for 40 years.
Excuse me, he was Time Man of the Year. Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Tori. I'm with you on this one.
It should have been Jesse Owens.
He symbolizes so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
You're gonna let that ride.
Good pun.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, I take it back.
All right, juicy new details from Debbie Moore's memoir. She says she felt pressured into 2 threesomes during her marriage to Ashton Kutcher. And when she found out Ashton cheated on her, he used those threesomes against her. Huh. So not only that, Tori, she also opened up and said that she married him and dated him to relive her 20s, so to speak.
That's fair.
And part of that for her was, even though it was a consensual threesome, she felt like she was doing it more to please him, and then it backfired.
I gotta be honest, I think a lot of people feel this way when they go for a threesome. And I don't mean to be crass and discuss it, but if we're being honest here, someone, the man or the woman, or the man and the man, or the woman or the woman, is gonna feel not
Eventually.
so great. Yeah, and it's just gotta happen. And unless you're in a wonderful polyamorous relationship and somehow it all works out, I just can't see how one person wouldn't get it. But maybe that's an old-fashioned way of thinking.
What do you think about the people on social media, Jeff, that are saying she has aired too many of their personal details? She also opened up about their miscarriage together.
Yeah, that's what kind of bothers me. I mean, tell your story. That's fine. That's what people want to hear. But if she didn't get Ashton Kutcher's blessing that now the whole world knows he's involved in threesome, I didn't know that, or that he had a miscarriage, that's very personal to somebody. And if that was between them at the time, I don't know if he should be. I just hope she got his blessing and not just blabbing about what happened in their relationship.
Right. Yeah, it's tough because, like, let's say 30 years from now, you're writing a tell-all about DBL, and there was a fallout between some imaginary host. And you wouldn't, I assume you wouldn't get their blessing if you were going to tell all about what happened.
Right. Yeah, but
so it's kind of tough because we do want to hear people's stories about, I had a miscarriage, I'm just like you, and here's how I got over it, or I felt pressured in a threesome, and I'm sure a lot of people would share that as well.
Relatable.
But then how do you, to your point, Jeff, how do you share that without damaging your partner
Right, but
or
Ashton
former
himself
partner?
is famous, so does that make a difference, right? If it were someone
I'm saying, let's just say these are regular folks.
I see. Because to me, if you're public and you're a public image, maybe there is more room for you to be spoken about more openly because you already live an open life. I don't know if that's fair.
But even like the relationships I had in the past, like ex-girlfriends that I don't even talk to or I didn't like even now, I wouldn't disrespect them and be like, hey, this girl was like this in the bedroom or that. I wouldn't do that. That's personal. That's between us. I wouldn't drag them through the mud for no reason.
Unless for some reason you got their blessing.
Yeah, and then I was writing a book. I would go to them and be like, listen, do you mind if I tell this part of my life? I really would.
Or make that celebrity anonymous.
I was going to say, why do you have to name them?
I feel like if it's worse, because we all know it would be Ashton.
But if you don't name the person, at least there's like a little ambiguity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, well, chime in, DBL Nation. We're a little divided here. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West just got a lecture from law enforcement in Wyoming. Raquel, please share the details.
Well, Sam, Kim and Kanye now call Wyoming home, but they have to learn some lessons about wildlife. Over the weekend, Kim posted a video of an ATV ride with Kanye. It appears he starts chasing the antelope. Kim yells, "I think you're scaring them." Now, there are laws against doing just that. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department paid a visit to the couple and told them this is considered animal harassment. It was more of an explanation of the rules when it comes to wildlife, and they weren't fined. But sources tell TMZ Kim and Kanye were just cruising when the pronghorns ran by and say it wasn't their intention to harm them or disturb them.
Okay, and Raquel, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I'm sure unless you're a DBL lifer, they would know that you are from Wyoming. Are people
Born
that
and
are
raised.
from there? Yeah. Would you have known about this law knowing that you're from there?
I just have always thought it was common sense not to run after wildlife. It's the truth.
No matter what state you're from.
Yes, and I always want to give people, I agree, Raquel, I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but seeing that they are off the road, they're not on a road. If they were on a road, it would be different. Even if it was a dirt road, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt. But they're clearly on a field, and there's a point before they turn away, or at least the animals are turning away, they aren't, where they're directly behind these animals. And I think that is where it crosses the line, in my opinion.
Just, yeah, it seems mean. Just seems kind of mean.
Well, they were told, they didn't know not to do it, and they were told don't do that, and now they don't do that.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a big deal. It just seems like a little bit more of common sense, as Raquel said. All right, TV's biggest night is almost here. Let's get to Stephanie Jones. She is our Hollywood insider. What do you expect, Steph?
All right, so the 71st Primetime Emmys are this Sunday. Big name celebs are set to present this year, but there won't be an official host. Plus, everyone's wondering if Game of Thrones will win big. I mean, fans hated the series finale, I mean, myself included, but the show has broken Emmy history with 32 nominations for one season. Here's the inside scoop, however. Actress Gwendolyn Christie, which was Brienne of Tarth in the series, submitted herself for an Emmy, not HBO, and she's been nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus could become the most stacked actress with overall Emmy wins. She's nominated yet again for her role in Veep, and she's won the last 6 times, so we're all expecting her to walk away with the statue this time around.
And Steph, who do you think the underdog will be?
Well, you know what? I think already the underdog was Gwendolyn Christie.
Yes.
Because I feel that she played such a strong role in Game of Thrones. Many of the actors and actresses were nominated by HBO and they paid for them to be submitted. It does cost a few $100s. And she requested that they did that for her. And then she turned around and when they refused to do it for her and submitted herself.
Good for her. Yeah.
And now she's the one that's up in the running against everyone else. So I've got everything crossed for her. She deserves this. She really does.
I don't know.
Why?
I don't think you should nominate. I think that's a bad look.
No way.
It's like throwing a party for yourself.
She deserved a nomination.
Then
and they
she would have got one then.
No.
Don't buy your way
She
onto
did
the
get
thing.
one. She did get a nomination, but HBO never even gave her a chance. But she did get the nomination.
So if you two were nominated from this panel, and me and Al weren't, we're like, man, we feel like we need a chance. And me and Al just went and got and paid for ourselves, and then we got it.
I'd
and then
be
all of a sudden,
so happy for you.
No, there'd be a moment between you two that you'd say,
Nope.
I can't believe they
Do you
did
really
that.
think that about us? I would be like, why weren't they nominated? That's terrible.
I actually would march into a room and say, why is one host nominated and not the entire?
No, I'm not saying.
You can just say my name.
Good for you, Sam. Good for you.
But thank you, Steph, for starting a fight on this panel.
That's not what I was saying.
I know, we
It's not
got
hard to
you.
do.
We
Yeah,
got
because you guys would never get nominated over us.
Two-man crew, still waiting on that daytime Emmy.
Stephanie, we want you to stick around, okay?
Okay.
All right, it's been 25 years.
She works here, Sam.
Since the first Friends episode, which aired September 22nd, 1994, and Google is having fun with it by hiding Easter eggs from the characters when you search each of them. So, Stephanie, everybody is super excited. Okay,
she doesn't like
Yeah, she doesn't like
Friends.
Friends. She hates Friends.
Oh, right.
That's why I wanted her to stick around.
Oh my gosh, come on, we're over it. I've seen it and heard it a million times. No one cares.
Whoa.
We've moved on. I mean, Friends is so boring.
No way.
I'm only being honest. I said to Sam earlier, the only good thing that came out of Friends was the Rachel haircut, which then 80% of the population went to get. And guess what? It didn't even suit you guys anyway.
It didn't.
I got it.
I got it.
I got it. I got it. And it didn't suit me either.
She's right about that.
However, okay, so she's right about the haircut. I got it. Respectfully, Steph, I got to disagree with you. I think I'm on Team Friends here.
The writing was fantastic.
No, I just want to say thank you, Stephanie, for using your platform for good. I want to carry you out of here like Rudy. She's exactly right. That show was boring,
No, it wasn't.
predictable.
It is.
Yes.
You could literally skip season, like, I don't know how many seasons there were, but like 1 to like 6, and nothing would have ever happened.
No, 1
You'd
to
have
6
missed
is
out
what
on
was
nothing.
In my head, 1 to 6 was good. It was the rest of them that was like, we got to move on.
No, no,
thought it was funny.
All right, well, good little
combo.
debate here.
Yeah, definitely.
Dig your passion,
Stephanie causing
Steph.
trouble.
Thank you, Stephanie Jones. Some Madonna fans are not happy campers right now because Madge has banned phones at her concert. They'll have to be locked up in a special case, and you're only allowed to open them in specific areas. So would you guys give up your phone during a concert? I would
Yes.
not.
I would.
As a mother right now, and knowing if I have a sitter and my child, absolutely not. I would rather make sure that my daughter is okay than be without my phone.
It's just because of Ariana Grande, the Las Vegas concert shooting, I do feel that I would think twice about it. I might still go, but if there's a shooting, I need to have that phone there. She's absolutely right.
Such a realistic and unfortunate point of view.
But
it's so true.
I'm going to go on the part of the artist for part of this as well.
Oh, I agree with you.
My audience's experience at my show. If I'm a musician or I am a comic, I don't know, I'm talking hypothetically, and I want you to have a good time at my show that I've prepared for you to have a good time, and you go to my show and there's a guy with his phone in your face, you're like, well, I'm never going back
then have
again.
him removed.
It's going to affect, but it's hundreds of people,
well, then
Sam.
have them removed.
You can't, that's the audience. You see everybody's like this at a concert now.
The likelihood of emergencies happening, it might be slim, but they happen, considering how many people show up to concerts concerts, somebody there will have some sort of an emergency at home. And the fact that they don't get to find out about that emergency, or God forbid there is a shooting or somebody passes out, I think it's essential that we have these in 2019.
Maybe make an exception for somebody that can prove that they have a child, but I don't think that phones are necessary, especially for people like comics that are working on material that they plan to sell to HBO.
Yeah, you can't be recording.
People will record it.
They should be kicked out.
Yeah, but it's already too late. If it's 50 minutes into a set, that's already all. It costs people money.
I get it. Yep. All right. Well, coming up on DBL, Bernie Sanders asks Americans for their most bizarre medical bills. Do you have any that are downright ridiculous? And celebrities are known for their stage names, but do you know their actual names, like on their birth certificates? We're blowing your mind. Next.
Kelly Schubert here. I have some thoughts on that story we were just talking about, so let's go to the desk.
Their wedding venue.
Hey, Al, do you think there's a difference between comedy shows and a concert that has like however many thousands of people versus like a comedy? How many people are in a typical comedy show like a Comedy Works?
A comedy club will hold between 280 and maybe some of the bigger ones hold 500.
I think I feel more comfortable giving my phone away for that, but a concert, I don't think I could.
Well, listen, a concert.
I think there's a definite difference.
Yeah, a concert you're expecting to hear.
You know the song, right? So what's the big deal?
People will. I've had comic friends of mine that said that they go into a joke and somebody yells, "Heard that one," and if they haven't told that joke in that city. People watch these jokes online, then come to the show thinking it's going to be a different.
Right.
That's so awful.
I totally agree with.
I
You know what I mean? But at concert,
you want to hear.
You're going to go Billy Joel and you're going to hear his famous songs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And you want to record that and show your friends.
Yeah.
So I think if it doesn't hurt the artist, I don't know why a musical artist would want that.
And also, as a comic, we also have another like kind of, especially nowadays, because we are in the cancel culture. When you are talking about more sensitive material, when you first write a joke, you're not like perfect, done. You work on a joke for 3 to 6 months, where you're going over. You're like, oh, the audience laughed at this, didn't like when I mentioned my wife. They laughed at this, didn't like when I mentioned Trump. They laughed at this. So you're kind of like making a sculpture almost, like shaving the fat off. And if somebody gets you the second time you're telling a joke that might be controversial, where you say something, you're like, no, they ain't like that at all.
Yeah.
But now that's on camera, like that Al Jackson doesn't like orphans.
Instead of going in your next set and not saying it at all.
Yeah, it's like, so it's weird.
Do you think it's because Madonna's maybe older and maybe she looks out into the crowd and doesn't like seeing all the
I think
phones?
if she screws up, she doesn't want it on camera. That's what I think.
Or bad singing and dancing.
You're right.
I went to a Madonna concert, and can I be honest, she was not on tip-top shape.
Because if you're Billy Joel, take me.
Dude, he was so good.
That makes sense.
Welcome back to DBL. Did you know most celebrities' names are not their real names? Take the actress Olivia Wilde, for example. Olivia Cockburn just doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? So yes, stage names, hold your tongue out. So yes, stage names are alive and well in Hollywood, even in 2019. Today, we are showing you the real names behind famous faces, but there's a twist. We'll show you the real name first, and then we'll guess which celebrity the name belongs to. Are we ready?
Yes, don't look at the wall. I feel like it's at the wall.
Okay, Jay, try not to look at the pixelated
It's a
face.
big question mark.
Yeah, but you see,
We've thought of everything, Tori.
Okay,
what do you think we'd have their face next to their name?
Sorry, God. Here we go. Let's get started. Come on, kid. Sorry. Stephanie German Nada is the real name behind this pop star diva known for her crazy outfits. Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
I said it first.
You said it first. Sam wins.
I had no clue.
I don't even know if that's right.
It is right.
Oh, good.
Peter Gabriel.
Let's see. The answer is Gaga. The famous singer says she got her name from the Queen song Radio Gaga. Cool. Next up, here we go. Cornelius Crane is a movie star known for his, that's a cool name.
I love that.
Is known for his offbeat humor and being one of America's iconic dads. Who's Cornelius? Wait, an iconic dad.
Is it Mr. Brady?
Oh.
I don't know.
That's a good...
Cornelius Crane.
Cornelius Crane is a fantastic.
You're a detective in 1871.
That sounds like a black guy, though. I'm going to say like Uncle Phil or something.
Okay. Uncle Phil?
Oh, good one. Good one. Let's see. The answer is Chevy Chase.
What?
Of course, that's a made-up name.
dad?
His
What
grandmother
dad?
nicknamed him Chevy
After the Maryland-
a wealthy Maryland community.
Oh, that's interesting because I always thought when I would be at Chevy Chase, Maryland, I'd be
Dad,
like, that's
hello.
so interesting.
Yeah, that they named after him.
Iconic dad because of all the vacation movies. What are you guys talking about?
I didn't think about
Someone talked in your ear.
Swear to God, no. I love all the vacation movies.
Christmas Vacation, I know every single word.
I know almost,
every single
me
word.
too. We should do a movie night.
All right, let's do it. I'm
Okay.
with it.
Fun, fun. Next, we all know this Hollywood legend by a different first name, but her real name is Mary Louise. Huh.
I'm going with Mary J.
Louise.
Blige.
Oh, good one.
I'm going with Mary.
But no, it's a different first name.
Oh.
So why are you guys still saying Mary?
Thelma Louise. I don't have an answer.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
I think.
No, I don't think
No, it's a singer, right?
I don't know.
Hollywood legend.
And her last name, it's Louis?
Lucille Ball, maybe? No.
Snooki.
All right, let's see.
Snooki? All right, let's see. The answer is Meryl Streep.
That's what I said.
The actress says she's just always gone by Meryl, since that's what her father called her growing up. Very good.
Okay.
All right. This is fun. Next up, we have Natalie Hirschlag. I like Natalie, though. I like that. This Academy Award winner has spent decades in the movie industry, despite being only 38. So who is she?
Anna Paquin. Who's young? Who's been in the movie industry?
I'm going with who's America's Sweetheart?
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, no, from Wedding Singer. Drew Barrymore.
No, she's like 45, honey. She's not younger than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Neat.
I'm
not a good
I'm not
guess.
hearing a lot of answers from
I'm
you
not
guys.
guessing.
I'm trying to think. I think Anna Paquin's a good one.
Someone who's like a young.
Maybe like Thora Birch.
Natalie
but she's
Portman,
young.
maybe?
Natalie Portman.
That's a really
Natalie
good one.
Portman.
I'm all about Natalie Portman. Yeah, Jeffrey. That was a good one.
They told me in my ear.
She says that she changed her name for the privacy of her family. Portman is also the name of her paternal grandmother. So she like knew she was going to be famous.
Yeah.
So she was like, I got to make sure that I got the
But
security
what if
of
you
my
change your
family.
name and then you don't get famous?
No, ouch.
And then you have to go back to Oklahoma and you're like, hey, Pete.
Yeah.
It's Cornelius.
Coming up on DBL, Bernie Sanders is asking people for their strangest stories when it comes to medical bills. Ooh, we're going to share some coming up next.
Are you one of
Hey guys, welcome to our review of Ad Astra. I'm Stephanie and I'm joined by
Raquel.
Okay, so Raquel, we went to go and see Ad Astra the other day. What do you think?
I think we're gonna have very differing opinions on this. For being a space movie starring Brad Pitt, it has everything I would ever want in a movie.
Okay.
I liked it for the fact that it shows what space and colonization might be like of planets when other humans get involved in other countries. I loved that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But towards the end, I thought it got a little cheesy.
Okay, so I loved the kind of digital green screen special effects aspect. So I love seeing what it would be like in space. And I feel like it really transported me into that world. And I thought it was so beautiful. But for me, the actual storyline just went on a bit. There wasn't enough kick to the punch. Do you know what I mean?
I felt like it kind of got like a little bit repetitive because I'm like, okay, anytime Brad Pitt hangs out with someone, we know what's gonna happen to them.
Yeah.
But like you said, it was beautiful to look at though.
Yeah.
Everything.
The visual aspect.
Yeah, and I kind of think it's like a little bit of a sci-fi masterpiece, but the storytelling gets a little murky towards the end. They could have gone so many different directions.
Yeah.
And then they just decided to go with like the same story in space all over again, like that emotional aspect.
I'm not gonna lie, Sandra Bullock in Gravity was way better and stronger than this.
I-
Brad Pitt and Ad Astra for me.
Yeah, they are similar, especially the endings, and I will say Gravity was stronger, but this one was more beautiful to look at.
Okay, so cinema, red box, or don't bother?
If you like the idea of having all the visual effects and the sounds and all the things for that aspect, go see it in the cinema. If you just want to casually see it, definitely go Redbox. What about you?
Cinema or don't bother. All in.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for a DBL Health Alert sponsored by eHealth. Vermont Senator and Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders recently asked Twitter, what's the most absurd medical bill you've ever received? Well, followers did not hold back. One person shared a $500,000 medical bill since he didn't have insurance. Another brought up a $35,000 $10,000 bill just to birth her child. And lastly, a $12,000 bill for less than an hour in the ER for a lower back sprain. This is infuriating. This is such an injustice, and this is something that Bernie Sanders has been running on because he recently took many people, Americans, who are diabetic and are rationing their insulin, and therefore they are sacrificing their lives by rationing their insulin because they cannot afford it. So these pharmaceutical companies, absolutely criminal, in my opinion, and he wants to start criminalizing them and throwing them in jail if they continue to take advantage of Americans. So he drove them over the border to Canada, and they were all able to get their insulin very affordably.
Yeah, he's in jail now, but do you guys remember that pharmaceutical guy?
Oh, yeah.
That jacked up, what was it, EpiPen?
The EpiPen,
Oh, he was charging like $1 million.
Skrellis, Martin Skrellis or something.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so.
Criminal.
But I remember the story, yeah.
We're using these $500,000 and $35,000. We don't even need to take it there for shock value. It depends on where you are in your life, but I ruptured my Achilles tendon with no health insurance. It was with
How
everything.
much it set
It's
you
probably
back?
about $12,000. I probably didn't have. I was a brand new.
That's on the
comic.
low end.
I probably had
nowadays,
$1,500 to my name.
And you said it ruined you for
It
like
ruined
6
me
years.
financially because it maxes your credit cards out. Then you can't pay your other bills, so then you get penalized for not being able to pay
go
your
in
phone
a
bill.
hole.
You go in a hole. And it
Spiral.
took me 3 or 4 years to recover, and that was $12,000.
Yeah.
Imagine $500.
Now, your
You're
mom's
done.
in and out of hospitals all the
All the time, and we've seen it rise. So her last surgery was over $1 million.
What?
Which was insane because I
You're
thought they
kidding
had
me.
a typo. But when you do a lot of stuff, it was like crazy. But even ambulance rides are $402,000, okay? If it's a private ambulance, they can charge whatever they want. Some of them
what?
$5,000 to go to the hospital.
That's why some people take Ubers.
They take the Ubers. I mean, I'm not going to
I just get to the hospital like, keep me in here.
Yeah,
Do whatever you got to do in the ambulance.
Unbelievable.
Outrageous.
Outrageous is right. We'll be right back.
And for affordable quality health insurance, call eHealth at 1-800-850-0679.
Welcome back to the DBL Stream Team. I'm Leo here with
Kelly
to talk the latest trending shows on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime.
Ooh.
This week we're talking the Netflix original series, The Chef Show. Now this is Jon Favreau's show, and he goes around with Chef Ryan Choi, and this is actually based off of his movie Chef, which came out a couple years ago.
Yep.
And he quit restaurant business to become a food truck business owner. And that's pretty much what they're doing here, actually. Every single episode, he brings in different celebrities, and they cook different meals from different countries, and they tell stories to each other.
I love
It's
it.
just this awesome, kind of like Dinner for Five. It's
Yeah,
the
Dinner for
same-
Five, his
same
show,
kind of
which
style.
you might have watched in the past. I really liked it. I liked getting to hear from
Yeah.
Seth Rogen, Gwyneth Paltrow. Remember we talked about Gwyneth on the show
Yes, we
when
did.
she forgot she was in Spider-Man.
I know,
So
like
that's
who
what this
forgets
show.
they're in Spider-Man? But
I
that
don't know.
was a whole conversation on this show.
Still good though, right?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you get to cook different exotic foods. They get to cook different foods together. I really wish though that they would kind of include the viewer a little bit more. I wish there was some
Okay.
graphics coming up when they were cooking.
Like maybe to tell us how much food we need
Yeah,
to
like
put-
how much you
yeah.
need to put in here.
I agree with
like
you.
they were doing one episode, they were frying chicken, and the way they were frying it was a little bit unconventional.
Yeah.
So I would have loved some step
A little more
step.
guidance, if you will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, just
that
to
makes
show
sense.
us how to actually cook that food because it looked scrumptious.
Delish.
But also on Stream Team this week, our classic choice, The Honeymooners. Lost episodes are streaming on Amazon Prime. So these are episodes that didn't originally air
I was
in the
going to ask you,
series.
so these are never been seen before, right?
They haven't been seen unless you've been on Amazon Prime. You've been doing your homework. So check that out, streaming on Amazon Prime now. And coming to Netflix this week, the Lego Batman movie. And let me
Ooh.
tell you, those Lego movies just
pretty
get
good.
better and better
They're pretty
each
good.
one. And seeing Will Arnett voice Batman was great. I mean, it's fantastic top to bottom. But guys, let us know your thoughts on these shows and movies, and we'll see you next time on the DBL Stream Team.
Welcome back to DBL. Every Friday, we will feature a person who made a big impact by doing something kind. Here's our first DBL Superstar of the Week. The story all starts with a wrong text. A friend was trying to reach Alex Jakeman to bring food over for his family. His 4-year-old son, Noah, recently suffered a seizure and is in the ICU. One number was off, and instead, she texted a Bill Clayton. When Bill found out what happened, he asked how he could help, so he set up a Facebook fundraiser that has raised over $1,000 for little Noah. And he said, Tori, that he wanted to do this to be the example to his own child.
One number off?
I
That's
know.
God right there. That is wonderful.
It's incredible.
Wonderful.
Yeah, may everybody pay it forward. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye, guys.
The new mystery Oreo. Lindsay, I want you to take a bite and tell me what flavor you think this is.
I'm a slow chewer, so.
Yeah, take your time.
I'm a
smell
fast chewer. Okay, it's got an oaky, like vanilla musk. No, it's cinnamon. It's cinnamon.
Travis, you want to try it? Rosalind? Tell me what y'all think it is. It's definitely cinnamony.
Oreo is
Maybe
exquisite.
like toffee? No, this is a cereal.
Rob, come on in, Rob.
It's really good, but it's definitely a Teddy Graham. I'm getting Teddy Graham vibes.
Some people said Cinnamon Toast Crunch online.
Yeah.
Rob's gonna try it. Rob, what do you think?
Now picture cereal. Which cereal with milk? Kind of picture that, right?
But does it have to be a cereal?
Yeah, it tastes like one. What is that? Cinnabon?
Cinnamon graham cracker.
Oh.
100%.
That's very specific, though.
Yeah.
Isn't that a little too specific?
It's French.
I think so.
Well,
Maybe.
some might think. I do not. French toast.
Oh. What do you think, Rosalind?
I'm getting
like a churro vibe. Oh, churro. Tori, what do you think?
Don't they have
churro? I think churro might
What
be
are you guys eating?
It's a mystery Oreo.
It's a mystery Oreo. Bert doesn't want to try this. Are you kidding?
So what it is, they give them, show us.
It's a mystery, and if you
flavor.
can guess the flavor, you could win $50,000.
So we're thinking it's.
sound like
Oh,
a
you
rough
didn't tell me about the 50 grand?
Yeah.
It's a French.
Yeah.
French toast
Take
or
another
churro.
guess.
No, listen.
I like it. I like it.
Take another guess.
I also would go with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I think it's one of these things I'm gonna have to just order a whole entire box and
just sit there and eat them all and then decide.
watch a movie and
It's like a Girl Scout cookie.
Oh.
I don't know which one though.
DBL Nation, get your mystery Oreo box and then try it. Go to mysteryoreo.com and let us know what you think. Bye.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Rudy Giuliani's on-air meltdown.
You are a sellout.
You are telling me that I'm a sellout.
We're talking all about his crazy contradiction on live TV. Then, topless women win big as a public ban gets dropped in 5 states. Are you okay with the decision? Plus, Demi Moore on her sex life with Ashton Kutcher. Why she says he used their threesomes as an excuse for cheating. And why is Celine Dion begging Drake not to get a tattoo of her face?
Can I tell you something? Don't do that.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. Erica Cobb, we need some.
It's Friday.
Yes.
That was a good one. Good job. We needed that today.
Yes, we did, Erica. Yes, we did. I felt that. She took us to church. It's Friday, September 20th. I'm here with Tori, Jeff, Erica. I am Sam. Let's get right to it. Rudy Giuliani, the president's lawyer, contradicted himself on live TV last night. It all happened on CNN while Tori and I were texting. Completely shocked. Watch.
And you want to cover some ridiculous charge that I urged the Ukrainian government to investigate corruption. Well, I did, and I'm proud of it.
Well, then
And
it's
you
not. Then
should
it's not a
encourage
ridiculous allegation. You
It's
just
a
admitted
ridiculous
it.
allegation.
You just
it's
admitted
a ridiculous allegation.
Rudy,
Of course,
you
of
just
course,
admitted
of
that you
course
did
I
it.
should.
That went on for 30 minutes. And you better believe social media lit up after that. One person tweeted, if Rudy Giuliani's family loves him, they will get him help now, not tomorrow, now. And another tweeted, to say Rudy Giuliani is bat bleep crazy is truly insulting to bats and bleep. I don't want to throw insults here at all. What I saw last night, and again, we just saw like a 5-second clip. And to me, that just, it seems like any other CNN, like political talking heads, they go at each other. No. That was exactly what you saw happened. The same conversation repeated over and over and over again for a half hour.
It was weird.
It was so concerning to watch. I've never seen anything like that on live TV before.
Yeah, now, so the rumor is, and again, I say this in big, bright, flashing lights, no one has told me this, it's just a rumor about Giuliani, that he tends to like to go to big New York State dinners, have a good steak, a couple martinis, throw a couple scotches back, and then go on his favorite cable news shows, including Cuomo, because they are good friends. So he might have had a few to drink. He seemed a bit all over the place. But the idea of contradicting yourself so weirdly and bizarrely openly
and repetitively
and to go on for 20 minutes it concerned me.
It was a half hour.
It was meltdown.
Concerning. Yeah, it was definitely concerning. So I hope that all is well. A picture of the president has gone viral. Here it is. Do you see what's in his back pocket? That's a wad of $20 bills. The president said he carries it to give tips at the hotel. That's a good tip. I know some people are in social media, Erica, are saying he should be giving out hundreds. No, a $20 bill is a great tip. I would be so appreciative.
People love to spend other people's money. I remember being in like bartending and waitressing, and you'd get like big athletes and stuff who obviously have a lot of money, and people would be like, they stiffed me, and I'm like, they didn't tip you? Like, no, I only got 20%.
Yeah, dude, that's
like
wonderful.
Well, you got 20%. Like, that's how rich people keep their money. But I'm gonna have to say that hell must have frozen over. I am giving Donald Trump major props today. I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who appreciate people in the service industry. I think that people should be more aware of how much people go out of their way in order for you to enjoy your service. So I think this is great, and I think that this should be something that other people follow.
Do you think that we can get too tip happy?
Yeah, I think a lot of people depend on, a lot of people depend on tips, which is the problem. I was a waiter my whole life growing up, so I depended on those tips. But now it's like out of control. Everybody has a jar, no matter where you go. Even if you pick up your food, that they're not doing any service for you. They expect a tip. And it's like, I'm at a point where I'm like, listen, I'm here to get a sub. You're supposed to make me a sub. Don't flip over this thing in my face and make me tip you 20% for making a sandwich. That's your job. Tell your boss to pay you more. That's not, if you're serving me food, if you're serving me coffee, if you're doing something for me, by all means, I'm a great tipper. But it's out of control, this tipping thing.
Yeah, even like it's one thing I would say, like if you're building a sandwich, but even the pre-made sandwiches at the airport, they'll flip that around. I'm like, it's pre-made. What do you mean?
You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything extra for me.
And you guys I feel guilty enough to do it. Because I always think they like look over and I'm like 20%.
Yeah, even where I get my dog, a baby's dog food, they flip it around and there's a percentage thing on there. Probably for the people that get their dogs groomed, but they don't say that is for the dogs being groomed. So every time when they flip it around, I'm like, I went and got the bag of food. I brought the bag of food to the counter.
Yeah, you didn't do anything. How about, did you ever go out to dinner and someone's like, oh man, I love your show, and you're like, 30%.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be a jerk.
You know what I mean? Yeah. 20% should be suffice.
I know.
Coming from former waitresses and bartenders. All right, so for the first time ever, a visibly pregnant CEO is on the cover of a business magazine. This is Audrey Gelman, the CEO of The Wing, a woman's co-working space. She says it's important to show it's possible to run a business and start a family. She also had a really beautiful tweet about how when she was a young girl, she never saw that type of representation. And so like many of us, we have ingrained that you have to pick career or family. And for those of you that do pick either or, that's awesome, but you had the choice. So I always felt that societal pressure, like if I become pregnant, if I start a family, is that going to hurt my career? And just to see a pregnant woman on the cover of a business magazine and to think it's never happened before, this is just, I think, kudos to her. It's monumental.
Well, I think just at the inception of this show. I mean, the idea that you were
my God, remember
at
that? She was
the auditions, and another woman was at the audition pregnant, and I was like,
it was unheard of.
Whoa, like this is something I want to be a part of, because you do not see that. In fact, it's like you shouldn't even exist.
Yes.
You're
True.
pregnant.
They're used to hiding it. I went up to Jen Friesen, who was a casting director at the time there at DBL, and I said, "You have pregnant people here." And she goes, "Well, is there a problem with their mouth or their brain?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "Then they should be here." And I thought, I was shocked. And I shouldn't be, but I was shocked. I mean, you guys were visibly, you were like 9 months pregnant. It was wonderful.
It's so happy to see that times are changing. You look at Serena Williams and how she's bounced back, and it didn't affect her career. And for so long, people saw pregnancy as a
condition.
No, sorry.
Please, absolutely.
I think that the role of women has changed so much, because we also used to throw away women after a certain age. Like, it was an anomaly to see a woman who was more mature. And now we understand that maturity, pregnancy, experiences actually breed something to talk about. It gives you more depth.
Wonderfully said.
And I agree with everything you're saying. We do need to change, but being the only male on this panel and having 2 children, when I had my second child here, I only had 5 days off of work.
We have
you know
a
what I
long way
mean?
to
So
go.
I understand being strong for women, but males need, you guys want, your work suffers, my family suffers. So there is a long way to come on both sides about the pregnancy.
You are 1,000% right. The fact that men aren't even expected to take paternal leave, aren't offered paternity leave,
it's not existent.
Absolutely
an afterthought.
It's things have to change. I'm right there with you, Jeff. Ladies out there, do you ever want to go topless in public?
Woo!
Oh, Tori Shulman gave a woo.
I know.
Well, now you can legally bear it all in at least 5 states, including Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, Kansas, and Oklahoma. That's some surprising places to me. I would never think like in Oklahoma and Kansas, women would just be walking around topless.
Well, I knew about it in Colorado, and I want to give a shout out to the real MVP, Miss Catherine Pierce, because when I moved to Denver 10 years ago, Catherine actually taped her mouth shut with her husband because she felt like her rights were being violated. She was simply trying to garden and get a tan at the same time in her own yard, and she was nearly evicted. That was back in 2010. Catherine has been fighting for the cause. Congratulations, Catherine.
Good for her. Good for her. And a lot of people writing in being like, is there danger to this? Is there not? And I know Jeff has a feeling about that. And some people wrote in and said, we're not ready. America is just too sexually immature. And I do hear that. But I do hope that like we get through growing pains of there's always going to be someone bad. There's always going to be a monster. But don't let the monster make the rule, right? Right. Which is hard to do because I do hear you about danger.
You just said it. Don't let the audience take my job. Yeah, it's dangerous. I don't think it's a great idea. I'm not trying to be disrespectful of feminism at all or anything like that. I just think the danger outweighs the I don't know, the good thing for women. I don't know the word you want to use.
What do you think would happen? I think you keep it pretty real. So if you were to go outside and people have embraced this, what do you think would happen?
Well, I was shocked that everyone in here talks sometimes about walking down the street and being gawked at or yelled at. I thought that was like in the cartoons.
Street harassment.
I thought you guys were insane, and everyone in here, every woman in here raised their hand, and like that's definitely happened to me multiple times, maybe weekly. So if you're topless now, and you're kind of in an urban area, like, I don't know. I don't think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. And again, I'm not stifling feminism. I just don't think. I don't think America's ready.
I think that might be the reality of how puritanical we are. But it could take some growing pains. It could be uncomfortable for a little bit before it's finally accepted. But good conversation. DBL's live coming up. Why is Celine Dion begging Drake not to get her face tattooed on his body? Plus, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are at the top of the presidential pack. But how old is too old to be president? Dale Hansen from our sister station in Dallas gives his DBL Take. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. Forget he or she. Singer Sam Smith wants to be known as they. Sam is non-binary. So should you be expected to ask people what their preferred pronoun is? Your comments next. My comments never work. I don't know why.
Here, read mine.
Let's see. Your thing's dead. Sweet. Let's see. What can we talk about here? 5th host.
You don't anymore?
Oh, this is a really interesting fifth host, and without giving anything away, I think we always learn when we can personalize it, and Erica's input in this fifth host, stay tuned for, because again, when you can personalize something, it makes you be more empathetic. So, especially if something's foreign to you, and usually when something is foreign to you, it's, your first reaction is to kind of think that it's crazy or think that it's absurd or whatever it may be. But I strongly urge you to listen to personal experiences to help you better understand where people are coming from.
That's a fair point.
So that's the fifth host. That's coming up. Let's see, some comments from earlier today, since I have no new comments. Jeff, I concur with your statements. If I'm incorrect politically, correct me. So they're actually gonna.
They're gonna do my job again for me?
Yeah, I'm not going to, because this has to do with fifth host.
Sorry.
Let's see. Dale is like a modern day Paul Harvey. I love his voice. Erica is class with a lot of sass. Yes, she is.
He is kind of like, I like his voice a lot, Dale Hansen.
Me too.
Hi. Oh, look at this.
What's it say, Tori?
So it's a long sentence. It's for Kelly Schuberth. She packed up her potential and all that she had learned. She grabbed a cute pair of shoes and headed out to change a few things. So much writing.
Yeah.
I should have thought about that before.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Merriam-Webster has added a new definition to a well-known pronoun. So here it is. They now refers to a single person whose gender identity is non-binary, and this might explain it a little bit more. For males, proper pronouns include he, him, his. Females, the proper pronouns include she, her, and hers. And for people who don't identify as either male or female, pronouns are they, them, their. And speaking of which, singer Sam Smith has now asked to be referred to as they. Smith said they no longer prefer to go by male pronouns. So DBL Nation, you all are weighing in on this one. A lot of engagement. Take it away, Tori.
All right, we got Greg from Twitter saying, this is confusing to me, but I will do my best. But I hope people can understand this will take time. Really beautifully said in a very simple way, and I think that they will. The idea is, if I ask you to call me they, and you insist on calling me she, because that's your prejudice, that's where you cross the line. If you mess up a little bit, I'm sure there's a learning curve here. So everyone's just let us all know that language is like a moving organism. It evolves, we move. So this is just the next thing that we need to be respectful for.
Angela from Facebook says, I will not ask people what they go by. If that offends them, that's their problem, not mine. When I'm talking to any other humans, even strangers, I will ask their name. If that's not good enough, then oh well. Angela, I'm just going to read an excerpt from an article that my sister wrote called Why I Don't Correct Pronouns. I am a queer black woman who can and has passed as a male. Growing up, it would bother me when people would refer to me as a boy, or when kids would be kids and pick on me for my appearance. But as I got older and more comfortable with myself, my only goal was to be happy. This did not stop people from yelling at me, jumping over the door, or kicking in the stall door in the women's restroom. To be honest, until I was forced to have a conversation, I never really thought about how much I avoid certain situations. My sister has decided that she wants to go by gender-neutral pronouns, and I respect that. Although I'll be very honest, I have to think about it because it is a change in how I'm used to referring to them. So I think it's really important that we just respect people and how they feel the most comfortable, especially people who are often put in uncomfortable situations for no reason at all.
Yeah, they're the most vulnerable. Why wouldn't you want to try and uplift and help them feel more confident and supported?
That's a great point.
But I do agree that there could be a learning curve, so just to be tolerant of that. All right, well, great conversation, and thank you so much for opening up about that, Erica. I think that allows people to just kind of empathize, and thank you to your sister for allowing you to share that. Coming up on DBL, Demi Moore holds nothing back in her new book, especially when it comes to Ashton Kutcher. Did he use threesomes to excuse cheating? And is it possible to be too old for the presidency? Dallas sportscaster Dale Hansen, known for his viral opinions, weighs in next.
Hey guys, it's officially Friday, which means the weekend is finally here. I feel as though I've been saying that since about Tuesday, like we're nearly at hump day. Now it's Friday's little brother or sister, which was yesterday, but now the weekend's actually here. So I want to know what you guys are up to. Tonight I'm really excited because I'm going to a roller disco. So there's a club in Denver called Tracks. And every third Friday of the month, they do a roller disco. So I'm going, one of my best friends from home, Ilza, is here. She's visiting me until the weekend. So she's going, and Kiri, the stylist, is going with her husband. And there's a few of us going. I think Lindsay, the new host, might be coming. I'm not sure. So there's going to be a few of us that are going anyway. So we're going to go rollerblading tonight. So if anyone wants to go to Tracks, I think it even might be free entry before 9 p.m. I'm not 100% sure, and free rollerblade hire because I don't have my own rollerblades. But tonight is 80s themed. You don't have to go in a themed outfit, but I'm going to. I've got some lime green, like kind of cycling shorts, and I'm going to wear a pink leotard over the top, like a swimming costume. And then I've got a white kind of like jacket that I'm going to wear over the top too, so I'm going to look a bit crazy, but I'm going all out in the theme. So also, I know Isaac Banks likes writing in every now and again, and he likes asking us about boy bands and girl bands and what music we like. So Isaac, why don't you write in and tell us what 80s music you think I might be hearing tonight at the roller disco? Let me know your best 80s tracks and what your weekend plans are.
Welcome back to DBL. How old is too old to take office? Former President Jimmy Carter is making headlines this week for what he said about putting an age limit on presidency. Watch.
You know, if I were just 80 years old, if I was 15 years younger, I don't believe I could undertake the duties that I experienced when I was president. But one thing, you have to be very flexible with your mind. You have to be able to go from one subject.
Dale Hansen from our sister station in Dallas is also weighing in on this topic. Here is Dale's DBL Take.
There's a great argument in this country about how old is too old to be president, and I'm having a hard time coming up with a number. I'm 71. I know I look 68, and thank you very much, but I think I'm too old to be president. And now that all my fellow baby boomers are upset because age is just a number, let's discuss it a bit. Ben Franklin helped write the Declaration of Independence, and at the age of 70 was the oldest to sign it, and then signed the Constitution at 81. But does anyone think there's a Ben Franklin on the ballot? I don't think so either. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was 76, and as great as her paintings were, she was a painter. Ronald Reagan was our oldest president in 1980 at the age of 69, and I think he led America out of a very dark place. He made me proud to be an American again. But by the end of his second term, he wasn't the Ronald Reagan at 69 either. Maybe because I'm a child of the 60s, John Kennedy has always been my favorite president. He made mistakes like they all do. He did a lot of things he shouldn't have, like most of us do. But he did make me believe in the future of America. And isn't that what we really want? At 71, I might not have much of a future, but my kids and grandkids do. And I want a president who doesn't talk about what we used to be. I want a president who talks about what we can be. And if they will do that, and if they can do that, then I would agree that age is just a number. An important number, but just a number.
I love hearing from Dale. And what do you think about this, Erica?
I think that it's a slippery slope because when you're talking about numbers, you don't want to fall into ageism. However, I think that it's more about the idea of being able to be current, present, and the future. If you're living in the past, then I think it's more about a mindset, not about the number.
See, I think biologically, though, the brain does slow down, and we have to be realizing that. I mean, Ronald Reagan was not all there for the second part of his administration, and many people think other people hid it from the American people. Dementia really had set in, and he wasn't all there. I don't want a president that can't be woken up in the middle of the night, get on it, move, have 3 hours of sleep, and then make another
I also
choice.
don't want to discriminate against a candidate that could be fantastic. I mean, what if we cut off Ruth Bader Ginsburg 20 years ago?
You're right, but she doesn't have to get up in the middle of the night and make those decisions.
But I look at my parents who are in their 70s and they are active, and I just think that if we can look at it case by case basis, then we possibly, I mean, what if we have a fantastic candidate on our hands and we don't give that person a shot because they're 71 years old?
Yeah.
But I hear you. Believe me, I understand it. You're not alone.
Yeah.
Coming up on DBL, Drake wants to get Celine Dion's face tattooed on his body, but she wants no part of it. And will Game of Thrones sweep the Emmys? Our Stephanie Jones has a preview of TV's biggest night.
Where's Brandon London? Are you keeping him in the dungeon from his non-PC comments? That's what I love most about him. Bring him back. No, he's on the 10:30 and 11:30, and he, by the way, is killing it, Margot. He's doing super well. He has improved so much, but still keeps his un-PC comments. Don't get me wrong. He still goes there. But Brandon is amazing to watch because I come in the morning. I hope I'm not, do I say blowing up his spot? Okay, well, whatever. He's not paying attention. Are you even working? Michael Better. God, Michael Better's not working again. Anyway, I come in the morning and Brandon has 2 questions written out for me. And it's just because, and he likes to learn and he does so much research. So don't worry, Brandon, whoa, what was that? Brandon London is not going anywhere. Zoe Rose says they or there is way too confusing for me. Al Jackson brought up such a good point that in the past 5 years, if you have a party and I'm like, Travis, you want to come to my party? I would also be like, hey, is there a gluten allergy? Is there a veggie option you need? That wasn't there 5 years ago, and that was kind of confusing to everyone. And now it's like totally normal. So I think language really moves quite quickly, and the millennials are very used to this. Now, if I say she instead of they, I'm not going to be like, oh my God. I'm going to just correct myself and try and get better. What do you guys think about that? This hour should just be the ladies. Why have Jeff on there if you don't let him speak? Says Scott Schmidt. Great feedback. He will be back along with Erica, Jeff, and Steph for Access later on tonight. It's hard sometimes with 3 women, but we will definitely take that into consideration. Scott Schmidt, we love hearing from you guys completely. Dale is awesome, and Patriots. Is this true? Did the Patriots release Antonio Brown? No. April P. just said that. Will you look that up? Will you look up if Antonio Brown has been released by the Patriots? That'd be freaking crazy, wouldn't it? And
I know that Belichick left a press conference.
He's gone? Get out of here!
Wow.
April P. with the breaking news.
Yeah, ESPN.
Breaking news, he's released. Wow!
Getting breaking news.
That's crazy. Antonio Brown
Hi, I am Tori Schulman, and I am DBL's Legal Eagle.
So I was born and raised in Washington, D.C., not Virginia, not Maryland, Washington, D.C. What's coming up in DBL that's very exciting is some strong conversations and some sparks are gonna fly. The co-host that makes me laugh the most is Al, because he's funny, and then also Jeff because he's so sad. That's seriously. Anywho, I'm really looking forward to Lindsay joining the show because she's gonna bring my game up, keep me on my toes, but also get a little taste of the Showmanator. Instead of saying, he's wrong, he's not. We saw the percentages. I'm always interested in what you, the viewer, has to say. And I'm not scared to debate you because sometimes you win.
But oftentimes Tori wins.
I do win a lot.
We're so lucky to have your wit and your smarts.
Thank you, Sam. I'm really excited to be here. I do have some breaking news, guys, from ESPN. Antonio Brown has just been released from the Patriots. We do know, we got some claps here, a lot of reaction here. So back and forth with Antonio Brown, but according to ESPN, he has been released, and we are working to confirm our own sources on that.
Wow. What do you think about that, Jeff?
I mean, I can't go. We don't have time to go like in depth of everything that happened to him.
First reaction. Did you think it would happen this way?
No, I didn't. But the allegations keep coming out, and he's destructive himself, and you have to take these allegations seriously. And the Patriots don't play, and I don't think he will be playing anymore either.
Wow. Really? All right. Well, we will follow this developing story. Here is what's coming up next on Daily Blast Live. Thank you, Tori.
Why does Celine Dion want Drake to think twice before tattooing her face on his body? Then, Demi Moore's bedroom bombshells. Did Ashton Kutcher use group sex as an excuse for cheating? And will Game of Thrones sweep up at the Emmys? We've got a preview of television's biggest night when DBL comes back.
Hi, it's Raquel here with the DBL Digital team. Right now, it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trendy news you need to know in under 2 minutes. Now let's get that timer up and get started. And all over the world today, people are hitting the streets for the global climate strike, leaving classrooms and offices. Here are images from all around the world of young activists. There are thousands of marches planned today in more than 100 countries. And if you look up in the sky, what do you see? It's a bird? It's a plane? It's Superman? Well, the last two are more likely now. Birds are vanishing all across the US and Canada. Since 1970, scientists say we have lost 3 billion birds. Huge hit to the population. But you can help by eating organic foods to help reduce pesticides and keep your cats inside. Yes, you heard me right. They're hunters. And Motown fans, it's the label's 60th anniversary. To celebrate, they are opening the vaults. 60 never-before-heard tracks are ready to download or stream, and you can hear songs from Stevie Wonder, The Temptations, Jackson 5, and The Supremes. I could go on, but let's just say happy listening. Now, Halloween is my favorite holiday, but leading up to it means having to see costumes we never, ever asked for. Like this, quote, sexy vegan burger, or Bob Ross, or Mr. Rogers. What is happening? Seriously. DBL Nation, help me out here. I want to see your best Halloween costumes. That's it for Fast Blast. See you next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Well, rapper Drake has a thing for tattooing famous faces on his body. Now he wants to tattoo Celine Dion's, and she's begging him not to. Watch.
Please, Drake, I love you very much. Don't do that. You can write me love letters. You can send me autographs for my kids. You can come and visit. I mean, this is not the money maker over here, first of all. But the thing that I want to say to you is that as you go older, you too when time comes, my face will go longer and it will go not prettier.
Oh, I love her and her self-deprecation. The thing is, he has many celebrities that are important to him on his body, like Denzel and the Beatles and Aaliyah and Rihanna. He apparently, Erica, asked her 2 years ago at the Billboard Music Awards, saying, you know, with their Canadian connection and how much he appreciates her, and she said no then, and she's saying no now.
Yeah, I love Celine Dion, and people always give me a hard time about it. But I think she is a great artist, and she is hysterical.
She
if
is.
you really watch her,
She's
like
so genuine,
being herself, like she's always been very much
Goofy,
herself.
yeah.
And I agree. I don't think people should have faces. I mean, if that's your thing.
If you had to pick any celebrity, if somebody forced you or paid you $1 million, who would you put on your?
Well, it'd have to be Jesus, child, because I would have to talk to him about it.
Yeah. What about you, Tori?
I would put Seabiscuit, the horse.
That's a good one.
And it would be when he won that Santa Anita.
I don't let you go to me, like her reaction.
What about you?
First of all, I want to give Drake props because we always like kind of dog him and stuff. He's respecting her wishes and he just doesn't go ahead and do
Canadians are
it.
great, aren't they?
So, yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
Polite, very polite.
Christopher Walken.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a fantastic one.
Yeah, why not?
Why won't you?
And have a sign that says walk-ins welcome. No, that's a cheesy sign like on barbershop.
Yeah. All right.
What about you?
Mine would be, I love Kurt Cobain. I definitely would probably get like a Kurt Cobain tattoo.
Where would you put it? A face is hard to put. Where do you put it on your body?
I mean, if I wasn't on live TV, I'd probably put it right here, like right there. But I'm on TV, so. Bert. Juicy new details from Demi Moore's memoir. She says she felt pressured into 2 threesomes during her marriage to Ashton Kutcher, and when she found out Ashton cheated on her, he used those threesomes against her. So she continued to open up, saying that she was trying to relive her 20s, and that's why she married him. And she, even though it was a consensual threesome, she was doing it to please him, and it bit her in the end.
Yeah. I think this happens to be. Some people have amazing polyamorous relationships and every energy is met. It's a yin-yang, yin-yang. I mean, there's something there, you know, and it works. But for me, I just feel like one partner would just get the short end of it. Sometimes it would just feel lousy.
Gotta be super honest, I guess.
Yeah, communication's gotta be at the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, though, because you said it in a very normalized way.
Right.
Because a lot of people are talking about the fact that it's the privacy issue, but Ashton did know that this was going to be a part of her story. I don't know what his reaction to that is, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not bothered by it, because it's not necessarily as bad to some people. It's not bad at all to some people, and he might not have a problem with it. I think she felt the need to say this because she was the cougar. Like, a lot of women modeled their love lives after her, and I think that she's trying to say, hey, you know what? I know that it looked all great, but there were some things that were inherently not great about our relationship, and now she's being honest about that.
And her memoir is very honest. And Ashton Kutcher plays a large part of this. She opened up about their miscarriage together.
Yeah.
She opened it up about their tumultuous divorce and their tumultuous relationship. So there are some ups and downs reflected when it comes to Ashton in that book.
Yeah, and I hope she got his blessing. He's okay with this, because I didn't know Ashton Kutcher had threesomes or he had a miscarriage. You know what I mean? That's something very personal that you share with your partner, and whether you like it or not, they're famous, and she's trying to sell a book, and if she's using Ashton in some way to sell her book, that's not really her memoir. You know, maybe use XYZ as that person. Everyone will know who it is, but don't blatantly try to sell your book talking about Ashton Kutcher. So I hope he's on board with this.
Yeah, good conversation. Chime in, DBL Nation. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West just got a lecture from law enforcement in Wyoming. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment.
That's right, Sam. Kim and Kanye now call Wyoming home, but they have some lessons to learn about wildlife. Over the weekend, Kim posted video of an ATV ride with Kanye, and it appears he starts chasing antelope. Kim yells, "I think you're scaring them." And they're actually right. There are laws against doing just that. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department paid a visit to the couple and told them this is considered animal harassment. It was more of an explanation of the rules when it comes to wildlife, and they weren't actually fined. Sources tell TMZ Kim and Kanye were cruising when the pronghorns ran by and say they were not intentionally disturbing them.
Raquel, can I ask you, can we keep the camera up there with Raquel? Because you're from Wyoming.
Born and raised, yes.
What do you think about this story?
Personally, I don't think they've ever been around wildlife. I remember a story here, we're in Denver, where people thought they let out the elk for the day and put them back in.
What?
So I feel like there's really big misconceptions about wildlife. So this might be a teaching moment more than a shaming moment.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow, she just shamed me. I was shaming them and she shamed me.
Yeah, because I felt like they were like off-roading right behind those animals.
I thought it was pretty shameful.
Like maybe if you're on a dirt road and the animals are like 50 yards away, that'd be different, but they're like chasing the animals. But I'm sure there was no maliciousness in their hearts, but I thought it was common sense. But
What did the person who rented them that ATV expect them to do?
I don't know.
You could go 50 yards that way and come back. Like, what did you expect them to do? It's all open.
But I guess if you see a herd of animals, you don't go chasing behind them. You just veer off to the right and you look at them.
That's definitely common sense.
You veer off to the right and you look at them. That's what you do.
I don't know. I'd want to get closer, right? If you see an animal, don't you want it to get, like you're at the zoo, get over here. You want them to get closer, right?
I don't know. I wouldn't go chasing them.
If I'm on an ATV, I'm pretty fast.
Okay. All right. TV's biggest night is almost here. Stephanie Jones is our Hollywood insider. What can we expect, Steph?
So the 71st Primetime Emmys are this Sunday. Big name celebs are set to present this year, but the show won't be having an official host. Plus, everyone's wondering if Game of Thrones will be winning big. I mean, fans hated this series finale, and then myself included. But the show broke Emmy history with 32 nominations for one season. And here's a bit of insider gossip for you. Actress Gwendolyn Christie, who played Brienne of Tarth, submitted herself for an Emmy, not HBO. And she's been nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus could become the most stacked actress with overall Emmy wins. She's nominated yet again for her role in Veep, and she's won this the past 6 times. So we're all expecting her to walk away with the statue this time around too.
Ooh, Stephanie, can I ask you who you think is the biggest underdog that will surprise us all?
Okay, so I just said Gwendolyn Christie. So I am a big fan of Game of Thrones. She had the most wonderful role. And what I love that she's done here is that HBO put forward Kit Harington and Emilia Clarke and many of the other big starring roles, but not her.
Yeah.
Yet, she's the one in the running. So, you know what? All fingers crossed for Gwendolyn. You've got this.
Good for her.
She better take that home.
Thank you for giving us that inside scoop. And Steph, you're going to want to stick around for this next story, so bear with us. You're either going to love it or hate it. It's been 25 years since the first Friends episode, which aired September 22nd in 1994, and Google is having some fun with it by hiding Easter eggs from the characters when you search each of them in Google. So, of course,
Steph hates Friends.
Why do you hate Friends so much?
Wait, what? What? Oh my gosh, seriously, we need to just move on already. It's been and gone, times have changed. This is the reason why some of these TV shows are dying and ones like Game of Thrones are tuning everyone in. I don't want to see the same story over and over for like 7 years. I want to see some death, some blood, some gore, some White Walkers, not a coffee shop with the same old relationship that was on a break.
Hey, Steph, I respectfully disagree with you. I'm Team Friends on this one.
What do you mean shows need to get it? It wasn't like the longest running sitcom ever.
I thought it was fantastic.
Good writers came on board, you know.
I think I'm a real bore then.
No, I just think the writing was really quick, but it was somewhat predictable. I like
predictability though, and that's where Steph and I may differ. Is I like to sit down and kind of know what I'm getting into. That's why I like Law and Order as well. I like the beginning, the middle, and the Anne of Green Gables. You remind me of her today.
You love it?
In a great way.
No.
Erica, why are you so quiet?
No.
Where are you on the Friends
Team
debate?
Steph or Team Friends?
No
Well, I
offense if you
watched
like it.
Friends, but I watched Friends at the same time that I was watching, like, you know, Living Single. So you know, when you're a black girl in an all-white community, you have to have both sides. You have to do the black shows and the white shows.
TV.
See, this is the stuff people don't talk about, right? So this is what happens. So I watched Friends because I went to a school where everybody was pretty much white. So that's what they watched. And I wanted to be able to communicate. So I had to watch my black shows for church and then my white shows for school. So Friends was all right. Friends was okay. I was down with that Gabrielle Union and Ross, that relationship.
Aisha Tyler.
You know, I was happy to see that some black people did exist in New York.
Right.
But Living Single was showing you that. It was just a different demographic.
There were zero black
Erica,
people.
we learn something new every day, don't we? Thank you, Erica. And thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
Love your passion, girl. Coming up on DBL, Bernie Sanders asks Americans for their most bizarre medical bills. So do you have any that are downright ridiculous, since celebrities are known for their stage names, but do you know their actual names, like on their birth certificates? We're blowing your mind next.
Okay, head over here. All right, everybody take a look. Let's see what happens. So I was supposed to do grab, but look how close and how am I going to fit the H and the E in?
You're right, though. People don't say that.
Is and more over?
People don't say that.
No.
I didn't know that.
No.
Once you
I've done something terribly wrong.
It's true. There was nobody blocking that. Really?
No, this is headed and headed. See, but I don't have room for the H and the E.
You always hit on her friend. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm
so confused. Oh boy.
Who's Jerome always hit on? Aisha Taylor's friend. What's in the show?
I don't know. Have I messed up? Yes. I thought I was.
Needs to be here.
Where?
No, not Pam. Pam's Aisha.
You know what? I did this D thinking it was maybe this D.
friend?
Okay, so this is what you do. You say, this is what you do.
Oh,
ready?
Gina, that's right.
It's okay, Tora. It's okay. Touch your heart. You say, you made some mistakes. Touch your back. You say, it's okay. You dust it off of your huge, blooming 1800s shoulders. And you say to yourself, we all make mistakes. And there's not, this isn't a real word. And you're going to start again from just, you're going to figure this out. And you're going to be okay. You're not going to panic. And you're not going to worry. Something went wrong. So, I think I moved the D's. Anywho, we're going to be okay. Love you guys. See you Monday.
Exactly right. Welcome back to DBL. Did you know most celebrities' names are not their real names? Take the actress Olivia Wilde, for example. Olivia Cockburn just doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? So yes, stage names are alive and well in Hollywood, even in 2019. Today, we are showing you the real names behind famous faces, but there's a twist. We'll show you the real name first, and then we're gonna guess, we want you to guess along with us, which celebrity the name belongs to. Here we go, let's get started. Destiny Hope is the real first name behind this Disney child star turned pop icon. Disney child star turned pop icon.
And her first name's Destiny?
Disney.
Destiny Jones?
Was that so Raven on Destiny? On Disney?
She was on Disney.
That's her name. She was on Cosby, so it wasn't.
Pop icon Demi Lovato?
But her first name's Destiny. They said,
No,
right?
it doesn't necessarily mean that the first name's still Destiny.
I thought she said you kept her first name.
Oh, a real first name.
Let's see. We're all stumped on this one. The answer is Miley Cyrus. What? I like Destiny Hope.
I don't.
Really?
The way it was phrased confused me.
Okay, well, not only is she known as Hannah Montana, she was nicknamed Smiley by her mom and dad, which eventually turned.
Oh, that's right.
That's adorable. That's a cute little nickname. I like that.
I know that.
Okay, the next one is a mouthful. Reginald Kenneth Dwight is a singer-songwriter and 5-time Grammy winner. We've been listening to Reginald's music since the late 60s.
I feel like I know this.
Lionel Richie?
I was just going to say that, Lionel Richie.
I'm going with that.
Erica would know, though. She loves Lionel Richie.
Reginald,
would you be surprised?
Since the late 60s, Dwight?
Oh man, I am completely
Is it a Rolling Stone person?
spacing on that.
All right, let's see if it's Elton John. He says he got Elton John by combining two of his bandmates' names in the 70s. Whoa.
Huh.
Cool. Well, next up, this world famous DJ from Scotland has collaborated with Rihanna, Gwen Stefani, Pharrell, and more. He made headlines in 2016 for dating another famous pop star. He was born Adam Richard Wiles. So who is he? Is he the DJ that dated Taylor Swift? What's his name? Because he dated another major pop star.
Calvin Harris?
Calvin Harris?
Oh, or DJ.
I thought
maybe.
Avicii?
You think Avicii? Let's see. The answer is Calvin Harris. I finally get one right. His first single was a soul track, so he took the name Calvin Harris because it was, quote, racially ambiguous.
I've heard that.
Okay. Interesting.
Adam
Isn't it funny that it's
Wiles,
like
is it?
in your Rolodex and then it comes out?
Do you think of racial divide when you think of Adam Wiles?
Yeah,
I
that seems
know.
very basic too.
Huh. And finally, we have a very funny woman. She was born Elizabeth, but we know her by a different first name. She got her start by making us laugh weekly in 1997 and has gone on to become a best-selling author. Huh. Best-selling author, 1997, funny lady.
Maybe Friends?
No,
that was
best-selling
before.
authors? Lisa Kudrow? Doesn't she have a book? Oh, Weekly.
Oh, Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yes.
Faye?
Tina Fey. I'm all
Tina
Tina Fey. Yep.
Stamatina, yeah.
Yep. She
Okay.
picked the stage name Tina as
Nice.
a nod to her middle name, which is Stamatina. That's a cool middle name.
That is
Stamatina.
You want to know something cool about Elton John? I forgot about this. He named the John after someone that saved his life when he said he didn't want to live anymore because he was coming out. And the guy's first name was John, and that's where that last name
Which
comes in.
should have been one of his bandmates because he said he
Absolutely.
named it after both bandmates.
Yeah,
so
it's
that
amazing.
must be the same guy.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you see him in the movie for a quick second.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Coming up on DBL, Bernie Sanders is asking people for their strangest stories when it comes to medical bills. We'll share some next.
Handler.
Hey guys, welcome to our review of Ad Astra. I'm Stephanie and I'm joined by
Raquel.
Okay, so Raquel, we went to go and see Ad Astra the other day. What do you think?
I think we're gonna have very differing opinions on this. For being a space movie starring Brad Pitt, it has everything I would ever want in a movie.
Okay.
I liked it for the fact that it shows what space and colonization might be like of planets when other humans get involved in other countries. I loved that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But towards the end, I thought it got a little cheesy.
Okay, so I loved the kind of digital green screen special effects aspect. So I love seeing what it would be like in space. And I feel like it really transported me into that world. And I thought it was so beautiful. But for me, the actual storyline just went on a bit. There wasn't enough kick to the punch. Do you know what I mean?
I felt like it kind of got like a little bit repetitive because I'm like, okay, anytime Brad Pitt hangs out with someone, we know what's gonna happen to them.
Yeah.
But like you said, it was beautiful to look at though.
Yeah.
Like, everything.
The visual aspect.
Yeah, and I kind of think it's like a little bit of a sci-fi masterpiece, but the storytelling gets a little murky towards the end. They could have gone so many different directions.
Yeah.
And then they just decided to go with like the same story in space all over again, like that emotional aspect.
I'm not gonna lie, Sandra Bullock in Gravity was way better and stronger than this.
I-
Brad Pitt and Ad Astra for me.
Yeah, they are similar, especially the endings, and I will say Gravity was stronger, but this one was more beautiful to look at.
Okay, so cinema, red box, or don't bother?
If you like the idea of having all the visual effects and the sounds and all the things for that aspect, go see it in the cinema. If you just want to casually see it, definitely go Redbox. What about you?
Cinema or don't bother? All in.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a DBL Health Alert sponsored by eHealth. Vermont Senator and Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders recently asked Twitter, what's the most absurd medical bill you've ever received? Well, followers did not hold back. One person shared a $500,000 medical bill since he didn't have insurance. Another brought up a $35,000 bill just to birth a child. And lastly, a $12,000 bill for less than an hour in the ER for a lower back sprain. Americans aren't surprised by this.
No.
When I look at underneath Bernie Sanders asking for people to send in their medical bills, a lot of people globally chimed in thinking, oh my gosh, like, God forbid you sprain your ankle, you're going to lose your mortgage, you're going to go bankrupt. This is insane, but this is America.
Yeah, what I'm really happy about, and I'm trying to explain this in a very simple way, is that Big Pharma are now being sued for public nuisance. It's a really interesting loophole because they said there's no other rule that you can get them on. So public nuisance is what Johnson & Johnson was just sued on, and they lost $500 million. Now, I wish that number were higher. I think it deserves to be much higher, but I think about $500 million is where you're going to start seeing people sue them because you have criminalized an entire group of people for getting sick.
I think people need to start being locked up.
I agree with you.
Because when it comes to people rationing their insulin, they're putting their lives on the line every single day because, God forbid, their diabetes, and they cannot afford $1,500 each time.
Yeah, the greed is out of control.
It's insane.
I think the key is to have some transparency in this because by sending in your medical bills, people like to think that it's some extreme, rare condition that can bankrupt you medically.
Right.
Less than an hour
or
in
having
ER,
a baby,
having a baby.
$35,000. Yeah.
I mean, just these are things that
An ambulance
happen
ride?
all the time.
Right.
So I think it's really important that people see it so that they don't trick themselves into believing that they're somehow immune to it.
And think about that when you go to the voting booth. Who is thinking about you when you have an ambulance ride that's $2,000? That's important to think about.
It is, absolutely. We'll be right back.
And for affordable quality health insurance, call eHealth at 1-800-850-0679.
Welcome back to the DBL Stream Team. I'm Leo here with
Kelly
to talk the latest trending shows on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. This week we're talking the Netflix original series, The Chef Show. Now this is Jon Favreau's show and he goes around with Chef Ryan Choi, and this is actually based off of his movie Chef, which came out a couple years ago.
Yep.
And he quit restaurant business to become a food truck business owner. And that's pretty much what they're doing here, actually. Every single episode, he brings in different celebrities and they cook different meals from different countries and they tell stories to each other.
I love
It's
it.
just this awesome, kind of like Dinner for Five. It's
Yeah,
the
Dinner for
same-
Five, his
same kind of
show, which
style.
you might have watched in the past. I really liked it. I liked getting to hear from
Yeah.
Seth Rogen, Gwyneth Paltrow. Remember we talked about Gwyneth on the show
Yes, we
when
did.
she forgot she was in Spider-Man.
I know,
so
like
that's
who
what this
forgets
show.
they're in Spider-Man? But
I
that
don't know.
was a whole conversation on this show.
Still good though, right?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you get to cook different exotic foods. They get to cook different foods together. I really wish though that they would kind of include the viewer a little bit more. I wish there was some
Okay.
graphics coming up when they were cooking.
Like maybe to tell us how much food we need
Yeah,
to
like
put-
how much you
yeah.
need to put in here.
I agree with
like
you.
they were doing one episode, they were frying chicken, and the way they were frying it was a little bit unconventional. So
Yeah.
I would have loved some step
A little more guidance, if you will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that
to
makes
show
sense.
us how to actually cook that food because it looked scrumptious.
Delish.
But also on Stream Team this week, our classic choice, The Honeymooners. Lost episodes are streaming on Amazon Prime. So these are episodes that didn't originally air
I was
in the
going to ask you,
series.
so these are never been seen before, right?
They haven't been seen unless you've been on Amazon Prime. You've been doing your homework. So check that out, streaming on Amazon Prime now. And coming to Netflix this week, the Lego Batman movie. And let me
Ooh.
tell you, those Lego movies just
pretty
get
good.
better and better
They're
each
pretty good.
one. And seeing Will Arnett voice Batman was great. I mean, it's fantastic top to bottom. But guys, let us know your thoughts on these shows and movies, and we'll see you next time on the DBL Stream Team.
Welcome back to DBL. We have a new segment we're debuting today. Every Friday, DBL will feature an extraordinary person who made a big impact by doing something kind for someone else. So let's get right to our first DBL superstar of the week. The story all starts with a wrong text message. A friend was trying to reach Alex Jakeman to bring food over for his family. His 4-year-old son, Noah, recently suffered a seizure and is in the ICU. One number was off, and instead she texted a Bill Clayton. When Bill learned about what happened, he asked how he could help. Bill set up a Facebook fundraiser that has raised already over $1,000 for little Noah. A GoFundMe for Noah has also reached $14,000. When Bill was asked why he was doing this, he said he was teaching his son how to step up to do what's right. Now that's a good papa, and his son's going to turn out to be just like his dad. That is an amazing story.
I love when you just said one number off. And it's just changed their lives.
And some people are like, who's texting me? You know, like, and here's a person that's like, oh, somebody's in trouble. How do I help?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this new segment, you know, because we always focus, it seems like, well, it's news, but it's negative news, you know, and people love that. But people are going to start liking these stories the more we do them, because these are great stories that you share with your friends. Don't talk about politics, talk about great people in the world.
Agreed.
You know?
And apparently little Noah right now is still in the ICU, but they believe that he's going to be just fine. He's going to get out of the ICU. So what the money will be used for is actually getting Noah a handicap vehicle. Van for him.
Awesome.
So I think that's important for people to know, because some of you, DBL Nation, were writing in, where's the money going?
Right.
And if you go to the GoFundMe or that Facebook fundraiser, all the details are there, every single detail. So
what's interesting is think about the mother being like, oh, I'm sorry, I've read a stranger. Oh, wait, what? And the stranger just, that's altruism at the best.
That is, yeah, it's beautiful. Amazing. Well done, well done. We will see you guys Monday, same time, same place. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, everybody. Bye, guys.